Welcome back to the Speaking Frankly Football Show. AJ, what have you been up to?
Frank, it's 2026.
It is, yeah. And we're just about to embark on our very first episode of the new season. But what have you been doing over the festive period?
Getting fat. Eating loads.
Well, I've been doing a lot of walking.
No.
I went to York, so
yes.
A couple of days after Boxing Day, we headed off to York for 8 days. Stayed in a lovely place just on the edge of the River Ouse and the other one, the River Foss. So where the River Ouse runs into the River Foss, there's a place called the Blue Bridge, and that's exactly where we were. We were in a 3-storey building, townhouse overlooking the Foss and the Ouse.
Do you have it all to yourself?
Yeah.
Ooh,
oh,
lovely.
yeah. It's one of these homes where you have the living rooms upstairs.
Yes.
So you can look over the river and
you've got like a walk-in hallway and a garden and a garage, and then it's up.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
and to give sort of some sort of context to it, like in terms of geography, we're on the same side as the cathedral, so we're not on the best vantage view. If you were on the other side and in one of the penthouses overlooking there, you'd see everything from Clifford Tower lit up, and you'd see the cathedral. So my dream scenario, if I won the Euro Millions, would be to buy a place on the opposite side of the Ouse, overlooking the all the nice parts.
Yeah, sod to Spain and America and Portugal. Buy an apartment in York.
Yeah, it'd only be a holiday place, but I wouldn't live there permanently.
Sounds good.
Well, Rowena would.
I know
Rowena would love.
She loves York more than you do.
Oh no, I don't think anybody loves it quite as much. Well, listen, we probably love it on an equal par. And you know what? The funny thing about it is, and Rowena will back me up on this one, all your aches and pains when you go away on holiday seem to disappear until you come back again. So we didn't touch any paracetamol during the holiday, but as soon as we come back, it was straight to. And I think it's this stress kind of thing. I enjoy coming back. I always, when I know when I know I've got to come back, when I know I'm on the. I just give a little bit of a context now. AJ is munching on a timeout chocolate bar, and it's really driving me potty because I love them and I can't eat them.
Sorry, mate.
But no, never mind. They weren't meant for me anyway. She's not put anything diabetic on that.
No, she hasn't.
No.
I think there's a reason she's left the tray within my arm's reach and not yours.
Well, there you go, you see. So anyway, I've forgotten what I was talking about now.
You're talking about York.
Yeah, well,
and aches and pains when you come back.
I'm sulking now, but the aches and pains when you come back. I think it's a psychological thing, isn't it? The fact that you're coming back to work and the sort of humdrum of life, and you start then stressing a little bit more. But I always feel as though I wanted to stay in York longer. But as soon as I got in the car and it was packed and it was off, I was like looking forward to getting home. And I must say, since the break, and probably since my medication has kicked in more, I've felt a lot better.
Good.
The last few days than I've done in months since way beyond April last year. So that's been a good thing. And I think I've walked around about 65, 70 miles while I was there, because you're just sightseeing all the time. And I like going over the same places all the time. I like walking the city walls all the time. Although I'm suffering because on Sunday when I last did it, I sort of did a speed.
You did a speed walk?
A speed walk around.
Why would you do that?
But even up the steps, always like. But now I think I need 2 hip replacements.
But you're struggling to carry bags about 6 weeks ago, and now you're speed walking around York.
But the difference is I can do all of that, but I can't. I can't carry weight. I can push weight, but I can't lift it. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
So I've got loads of power pushing.
Yep.
So nobody get in front of my face because I will push you. But if you ask me to do a sit-up, or not a sit-up, but you ask me to do a press-up, I'm knackered.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll take your word for it.
Because of the muscle and nerve damage that I've had over the years. So I did a bit of a speed walk there. My legs are a little bit sore now. I've done a couple of workouts since I've got back on my treadmill.
Yeah, you go.
But nowhere near as much. And that's the thing, isn't it? When you come back to all of this, that your time is just automatically taken away from you again, isn't it? And you
A little bit.
all those things that you take for granted when you're away.
Why can't you be man of leisure forever? That's the big burning question.
I don't think you'd ever want to be, because when I come back, obviously, that was on Monday. So Monday, Tuesday. I'm just trying to think what I did on Tuesday. So Tuesday I did my big workout. Wednesday I've got this big meeting that we've been discussing. We can't talk about for confidentiality reasons. But
you went training as well.
Yeah, I went to training last night, and training, that's where it sort of it gets back.
Does the reality kind of kick in?
Yeah, but also like you're watching these young lads giving it all in training, putting in a really good shift, and you're thinking to yourself, you start dreaming about Saturday then, don't you?
Yes.
Thinking, what can we do? Can we? And this will come to that later on in the show. So everything about coming back has been really positive, but for the fact that I can't do some of the things that you take for granted when you're on holiday, like walking for miles. And, every day. Not that I stopped working while I was away either, because I did, and I was working on other projects as well. But at more sort of a relaxed sort of
tempo,
yeah. And then probably spent more time than I should have done at the Clifton Bingo. Yeah, we were
always one for the bingo everywhere you go, Frank.
I think bingo 7 times out of 8 nights.
7 times? Yeah. You don't know York has much more to offer in the night time than just the bingo.
I know, yeah, but I'd done everything during the day, and of course then we're like nearly 2 miles away from the bingo, so we walked all the way to the bingo, and then we walked all the way back.
That's only about 40-50 minute walk, isn't it, really?
Yeah, so but you're in and out of the town centre again, so you're looking at the lights, because the lights are still lit up.
They are, yeah.
But the best part of it probably was the freezing cold on New Year's Eve and standing outside York Minster with over 2,000 people bringing the new year in.
Oh, radical.
It was absolutely freezing. But
it will be.
Brings you sort of back down to earth, the fact that there was quite a lot of armed police officers with guns, because, in this day and age...
Oh, you just never know.
Where there's a crowd, it can attract terrorism. So
yeah,
so sobering thought when you see, and because the one thing that we all wish for in a new year, apart from our own personal resolutions, is you want to see peace, don't you?
You do want to see a bit of world peace, yeah.
But we're not likely to see that when Trump's invading. I'm picking people up. Maduro from is it Maduro?
Oh God, I've no idea.
The
nice Prime Minister man from
from that place over.
Not Colombia.
No, the other one. What's he called?
I don't know. This is why I'm doing a football podcast. I don't know.
But I've been talking all about.
Don't know current events.
I just can't remember. I can't remember. I think it's Maduro, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I'm just trying to think. It's not Colombia.
No, it's not.
Is it Venezuela?
Yeah, I think it is Venezuela.
It's Venezuela. Yes. Yeah. So he was airlifted, wasn't he, by the U.S. Air Force from Caracas. Which is the capital
city, yeah.
Capital city, and he was escorted over to New York, where he's now set to stand trial for war crimes. Is it war crimes or drug crimes and drug-related drug? Yeah.
Oh dear God.
I know. But what I'm saying to you is then the next thing he's talking about is taking control of Greenland, and you're thinking to yourself, oh, and you know what? Then you start worrying about Russia and the way that they've been intimidating the UK in recent months. And you think, crikey, that sort of land of opportunity for Russia, take over the UK? Is that beyond the realms of possibility?
I don't know.
Are we overthinking things? Is world peace... the fact that we've got this... nuclear armoury that's a deterrent to arguably fight.
Is it at the minute? Because it's looking more and more opportunistic. The more you think about it, really. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that's why one assumes that why Trump wants Greenland, because it takes him closer to Russia. I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Geographically, I don't know, but it's obviously controlling those points.
Yeah.
As well as securing oil rights in other countries as well. I don't know whether Greenland is sitting on huge oil reserves.
I don't think so.
Like Venezuela is. But listen, there's always got... Everybody assumes that Trump is just all oil orientated and he's just going to flatten everybody in his way to get world supremacy. And then somebody reminded me that only 5% of the world's population is in America. But there might even be less than that. So what is there? Roughly about 350,000 people in the USA? No, not 350,000, sorry, 350 million.
That sounds a bit more like it.
So 350 million, so that is 5%. Yeah, that sounds about right, doesn't it?
Yeah.
5% of the world population.
Give or take, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's about 7 or 8 billion total population, so yeah.
Anyway, that's a somber thought, that. But what have you been watching? I've been watching a programme called Department Q.
Right.
I don't know whether you've heard of it.
No, I have not.
No, really good. I'm coming towards the end of the series now. It's a Scottish-made drama, and it stars Matthew Good. I don't know whether you know him.
I've heard of Matthew Good. Yeah, he's excellent.
Really, really good actor. And the female lead in it is Chloe Perry.
Nope.
No.
No clue.
And then the other fellow that plays Akram Salim is Alexa Manvalova. Listen,
absolutely.
you should be looking these up, but
what?
You'll recognise his face anyway. Manilov or whatever his name is.
Manvalov.
Manvalov. He's a brilliant actor, by the way.
Is he now?
Yeah, he's absolutely outstanding.
Right.
So I've been watching that, and that's well worth watching, although it's quite dark in places.
Yeah, it sounds a bit shady, to be honest. As for me, I watched the 2 Bank of Dave movies.
All right, I've been meaning to watch them.
Yeah, very good. So, if you don't know the story, it's about a man called Dave who is a Shut up. Let me tell the story. It's about a man called Dave, and he lives in Burnley, and he sells vans for a living. But he's built up quite a lot of wealth because he has about 8 of these van sites, and he wants to use his wealth to start providing loans for people, but at quite a low interest rate of repayment. And in order to do that, he has to be a bank. So he then starts going on the trail of how he can become a bank. Which he then names Bank of Dave.
Yeah, which is fitting, I suppose.
Yes. So there's 2 films in the series. One of them is sort of relatively accurate, and then the other one I have no idea at all whether it's accurate or not. It's a bit outlandish from the start, but still quite good fun. So they're both on Netflix, so I would advise you to kind of watch them for a little bit of a feel-good movie. But
listen, on top of all of that, I've been watching Corriedale, which was the coming together of the 2 finest subs in England, Emmerdale and Coronation Street. Although I'm more sort of
Corrie fan.
I'm more of an Emmerdale fan these days.
Are you?
Corrie's nowhere near as good at the moment. The storylines are really, really... Well, I mean, listen, Corriedale in itself was just total fantasy. You know,
of course it was. That was what it was all together for.
Well, how everybody on the same road could crash, and they were both from one from Coronation Street and one from Emmerdale, and there was nobody from any other area.
A bit contrived, isn't it?
There was nobody from York or Skelmersdale or Skeg just cropped up. There wasn't the chairman of Skeb. Just, what's going on here? We'll have to slow down, love.
Honestly.
We're not going to get to York tonight.
Honestly.
Yeah.
I think if you'd made an appearance in that, you could have walked away into retirement knowing that you'd probably achieved a major bullet point on your list.
Yeah. Well, listen. Anyway, that's less about my thoughts and more about the show now. I think we need to get on with it. And listen, I've forgotten how to do a show now. I don't even know whether to switch the right buttons on, but we're going to go for it anyway.
Well, we're going to have to. Yeah. Let's see.
Let's go. Hello and welcome to the Speaking Frankly Football Show. I'm Frank Hughes, the chairman of Skelmersdale United Football Club, and alongside me is my co-host and passionate press officer, AJ the Jet. Not that being involved with the football club is a prerequisite for hosting a football podcast, but it certainly helps. We are ready to dive headfirst into the vibrant world of non-league football in the North West, and we might even take a moment to discuss some of the bigger headlines in the sport. We'll explore life in the northwest counties, bring you interviews with well-known faces in the league, and analyse how local teams are performing while making bold predictions for their upcoming matches. Nothing is off the limits here. We'll be diving into all kinds of topics, including complicated refereeing decisions and regulations that often leave fans perplexed. We want to hear from you too. This is your show, so don't hesitate to reach out with topics you want us to tackle. Let's get this conversation started and enjoy every single moment. We are speaking frankly. Hello and welcome to the Speaking Frankly Football Show. This is episode 24 in season 2, and this is also take 2 because my first introduction to the show went wrong. So
he'd forgotten how to do it.
I've recorded it again. Yeah, I've forgotten how to do it. So this is our first show of
2026.
2026, that's the one. That's where I went wrong before. Mm-hmm. So, listen, number one, welcome to my co-host, AJ.
Hello, Frank. Hello, everyone. Thank you very much for coming back to us after the festive period. Happy New Year. It's 2026. New Year, New Me is officially not happening. I've had absolutely no time for it whatsoever. Just hope that with 2026 comes more success for SCEM and Northwest non-league football in general. So, going into the first show of the new calendar year today, we'll do a bit of a roundup of a Northwest Counties festive period that was absolutely panned by the weather. We're going to look at the struggles occurring at the City of Liverpool. We'll check in on our usual teams from a bit further afield, such as Marine and Southport, Prescot Cables, Runcorn, Linnets, Clitheroe, you know the lot, and Telford Town as well. There's a bit going on over there in Shropshire. We've got no guests, so it's just going to be one big show where we'll look at fixtures and predictions, the FA Cup, SCEM, and our final thoughts as well. So all of that is to come in this first show of the new year. Franklin.
Yeah, well, as you hinted there, it was a very sort of largely decimated fixture list over the holiday period. I think our last show was roughly around about the
18th.
18th, that was it, the 18th of December. So we're covering everything from the 20th of December right up to the current state of play as we go into our first Saturday of the season. That's right, it's the first Saturday. No, second Saturday.
No, it's the second Saturday for most. For us
Saturday of the new year, I should say.
Yeah, that's the one.
So, listen, we start off with the Premier Division in the Northwest Counties. There was enough action in the Premier Division to see a little bit of movement. So, Wythenshawe have replaced Padiham at the top of the table. Wythenshawe were the visitors at West Didsbury and Chorlton on Boxing Day and came away with a 1-0 win in front of a huge crowd of 1,869 people. Absolutely amazing. And we've reported on West Didsbury before about locals who complained about the noise, alcohol consumption and congestion, and there's also a complaint about a whiff coming from the catering facilities. Apart from the result, I think the massive crowd may have led to an even bigger stink over the festive period.
I see where you came. I see what you did there.
Because it was a big stink over catering facilities. But listen, it's fantastic. A crowd of 1,869.
Yeah, exactly. A crowd that size we haven't seen since Bury last season. We know West Didsbury have a big crowd anyway, but between the two clubs there is only about 5 minutes really in the grand scheme of it. So plenty of reason to go and visit the Step Places Stadium in a game that saw quite a tight affair between two teams vying for promotion there. Wythenshawe getting the goal after 10 minutes through Josh Dickin, a goal that turned out to be the winner for the recently relegated side from the Northern Premier League West.
Put a question out there. Is Josh Dickin, I wonder whether he's actually related in any way, shape or form to the great Ted Dickin, who scored a Wembley hat-trick for Shawbury United Football Club in the Amateur FA Cup final in 1971. I haven't got a clue, just putting it out there.
Worth the question. Ask,
it's an unusual surname, isn't it?
Yeah, we've got to ask why on earth he hasn't played for Skem. If you know, get in touch with us. So that was the big game.
Yeah, they followed that up with Shaw with another win against South Liverpool, which actually led them to take over Padiham at the top. So listen, Padiham have lost to South Liverpool. They lost to them a week before Christmas, but beat Barnoldswick 3-1 on Boxing Day. So like I say, last week's postponement against West Didsbury allowed Wythenshawe to take advantage of that. And as I say, they've replaced Padiham at the top.
With a game in hand.
A game in hand, so they're looking really, really well at the moment, Wythenshawe.
They are looking hot property.
And we didn't consider them at all, did we?
No, none of us did. I think at the point at which we were starting to look at our guesses into who was going to go up, Wythenshawe were down at the bottom, having suffered like a very, very poor start. But they've actually quietly gone up the table to the point now that where we can't not take notice of them. 20 wins from 25 games, 60 goals scored and 26 conceded. Those 26 being the second lowest in the division. So a mean defensive record and a decent attacking offering, giving them some really good prospects of that automatic promotion place, particularly as teams such as Padiham and FC St Helens continue to flounder, and Ramsbottom having 4 straight fixtures called off over the Christmas period. So a very difficult period for all of those in and around that top table, except for Wythenshawe.
Yeah, and looking at Wythenshawe, the other Wythenshawe Town, I think they're in the bottom 3-4 of the Northern Premier League West.
They are.
So we could see one replacing the other at the end of the season.
That could be possible, couldn't it? Because of course Wythenshawe Town were given a reprieve last season. Yeah. They finished second bottom, but stayed up. So will they go down this time?
Just a pity you can't see the two teams sort of amalgamating.
Well, teams amalgamating is and always has been a slightly contentious issue, as we've seen with Bury, Bedford. Goodness me, where would you even start?
No, it doesn't even work, does it? But
not really
at times. But listen, looking to Ramsbottom, who's still currently in third position. They've got a few games in hand on the two teams above them.
Yeah.
But it's been a bit of a tricky time for them. They've drawn 2 league games and lost 1 in the last 6 weeks. But 7 of their games in that period have been postponed.
Yeah, they have.
It's going to be a huge issue for them.
It is, very much so. So the Harry Williams Stadium is known for being quite an exposed part of the northwest, up there in Ramsbottom, up near Bury area, quite high up on the hills. Naturally, a very cold and windy place, and it's just been waterlogged pitch after waterlogged pitch at home, but then also their away travellings as well has seen games being called off for them left, right, and centre, and as you say, 7 of them to continue their postponement.
Interested to see how many of them were home games. Some of them you would imagine were away games.
Some of them were away games, but a lot of them were home. Litherland, Remica, they should have played this Saturday, just gone on the 3rd, but that was postponed due to a frozen pitch. And then we look back through the fixtures over the Christmas period. So we only go back so far, but they should have played on the 20th of December against AFC Liverpool, although that was an away game that was postponed due to a waterlogged pitch. So being able to get consistency, just getting minutes as well, could that come back to bite Ramsbottom? It might do, considering they'll have a huge backlog to come up against through the remainder of winter and then through the spring.
But Wythenshawe definitely looking the team in form. And I think it'll take an awful lot now to push them out of that top spot. Yeah,
you'd technically speaking, Padiham haven't they're not a million miles away. They're only 2 points behind Wythenshawe at the minute. It's just the way in which they're playing.
It's the erratic nature of Padiham results as well, isn't it? Because they're not always doing particularly well, are they? They're up and down.
No, they're not. There are times when they just seem to kind of have a bit of a drop, and then all of a sudden they've either blown a bit of a lead, or they've coming back, trying to follow up on the chasing pack, and I don't think their cause will be helped by the loss of one of their players who has signed for Bootle this week. I'm just trying to find out. I'm pretty sure it's Jack Johnston. Who's signed for Bootle. Just give me a moment and I will...
Well, the reason I waffled on a little bit about Wythenshawe is because I wanted to take a look at their remaining fixtures. Okay. And if you actually take a look at them, they've got a really, what I'd say, a relatively easy running. Till mid-April out of the top teams. Mm-hmm. Just looking at what West Didsbury and Chorlton, they've got to play them again at home. The first week in April. But apart from that, Atherton, LR, Bearscoes, Pilks, Prestwich Hayes twice, Stockport Town, Charnock Richard. They've got to play Padiham again. Exton Villa. But yeah, other than that, I think if you were to compare the fixture lists as from a running position, I think definitely they look as though they've got the easier running.
A bit more advantageous, yeah. It's not Jack Johnston of Padiham, it's Declan Daniels of Earlham. Two very different people. But yeah, he's signed for Bootle. Anyway, moving on. So who are we going to look at now?
Yeah, I think we're going to look at City of Liverpool.
Okay.
Listen, we've mentioned this quite a few times during the last few shows. It's really unfortunate. So listen, we'll start at the beginning. We went to the game, or I did, with Tommy and Craig. The game just before Christmas, the last game that they played at Bearscoe when they got battered,
wasn't it?
9-0 by Chatterton, and it looked pretty grim for them then. There was rumours about that probably be their last home game at the community stadium. As it's turned out right now, they've not played there again, allegedly due to non-payment of rent to Bearscoe. Nothing to confirm this. Other than the fact that I think Paul Manning has gone on record and said, listen, we've ran out of money. I think he's been quite open with that and said it's, things are bad at the moment. So the focus has turned on what they can do. They've obviously been to the league, and the league have said to them, listen, you can carry on playing your away games until you're in a better position, or until you can find some resources to carry on playing those home games. I don't know whether the olive branch will be offered by Bearscoe to them, if they pay the debts up and if they manage to get enough money to see them through till the end of the season. But either way, it's going to be a really difficult one, and it's one of them things. Really, we're talking about a club that was formed in 2015, so relatively new club. When it was formed, it had significant backing. It was one of these clubs that were born out of the frustration of Premier League football becoming less affordable to normal supporters, but they've led a very nomadic existence since they started. And I know they tried, and I think they come very, very close to securing a piece of land in Liverpool, or they certainly had their eyes on a piece of land in Liverpool, but it was rejected by the council allegedly. So they're not going to find roots anytime soon, and we know how difficult it is playing all your games away from home. So whilst I feel sorry for them, I know that there was a group or a consortium of people that got together during the pre-season that offered to take some of the workload away from Paul Manning and help City of Liverpool survive. I don't know whether that was rejected, dismissed, or it didn't have enough legs about it for him to accept. But either way, they're in the position they are now, and they've had 2 games postponed at home now. So they should have had another fixture the other day, which was, I think that was on Tuesday, which was postponed as well.
It was an away game, I think.
Yeah, and the unfortunate thing now is they've dropped into the bottom two because Abbey Hay managed to beat Remy 6-2 the week before Christmas. So, like I say, City of Liverpool now down in the drop zone. They're not playing the home games at the moment. It looks as though the league has consented for them to play their away fixtures, which is good. They were due to play a friendly fixture on Tuesday night in Skem against Clegg. That never happened. I don't know for what reason, whether they couldn't raise a squad. I don't know. I've not spoken to Richard since before all that happened. So I've spoken to him since Christmas, but not. I don't know much more about what's going on other than the fact that the counties have allowed them to carry on playing their away games. So sympathetic or not. The vast majority of people don't seem to be too sympathetic.
No. I understand that it was born out of a frustration against Premier League and professional football being, not affordable for the masses. And being
it started with the Glazers, really, didn't it? With the formation of FC United of Manchester,
which I was
the disenfranchised fans decided they wanted something that they could go and see every week and enjoy and be run by the supporters. This was supposed to have been a similar kind of thing, like a community interest club.
Yeah, but where FC United and Manchester proved that they could get a large crowd of followers behind them to ensure, sustainability in the near future. Such as I think FC United and Manchester proved they could get about 4,000 fans or something mad like that, which is why they ended up playing non-league football at a semi-pro level straight from their inception and not from an amateur district level. Whereas City of Liverpool, I know that they drew decent crowds and they had a significant backing through their fan membership funding initiative, which had some good legs at the beginning. But then it petered out, and I think it petered out in by the manner of which that money was invested. City of Liverpool ground shared at the Widnes Stadium, home of Widnes Vikings Football Club, correct? Rugby club, which charges a huge fee for match day rental.
About £2,000 a game, we believe.
That's ludicrous for a team.
£3,000 on bank holidays.
Yeah, exactly. And we've got teams that are folding constantly in the non-league district. How on earth City Liverpool thought that was going to be sustainable, I do not know. Couple that in with the fact that they were bringing in players whose names and achievements commanded big sums of money that they were happy to pay. Danny Mitchley, Elliot Morris, two absolutely class players of past and present. I think Kenny Strickland was also there for a bit, wasn't he, as well?
There's some big names there. A lot of them ex-Skem players, as you say. A lot of them
ex-Skem players, yeah. And so their money just appears to have been frittered away on really poor short-term investments rather than actually trying to find the legs to secure a bit more of a affordable existence. And they ended up not being in Liverpool either. They've gone from Widnes. They shared at did they share at Bootle at one point?
Yeah, they've been Bootle. Just trying to
Cables.
Cables, that's where they started, isn't it? Cables.
Exactly.
So like you say, a very nomadic lifestyle.
Very much so.
It comes to a crunch somewhere down the line.
Yeah, we know from how much of a struggle we've had keeping Skelmersdale United afloat that a nomadic existence just is not sustainable in the long term.
Yeah, but I'm playing devil's advocate here. I feel quite sorry for Paul Manning, in the sense that maybe it's got to a position where you put all the hard work in, people make suggestions, but they don't actually come forward and do anything. They don't turn up. They don't go through the turnstiles and pay the £10, £12, whatever it is they charge at the moment, so they don't turn up. They don't. I think the last game against Chadderton, as we say, there was 51, one of the lowest crowds they've ever had.
Yeah.
That's not even covered the officials.
No.
And I know I was one of the people that came through the gate free. alongside Tommy and Craig, and there'd have been other people that came in to watch that game for free as
you
as
cost
well.
that club £35 just by
Yeah,
yourselves.
and, you know, to a degree, I feel really guilty for that. And I think there was a air of resignation on that particular night where, you know, people are walking through that turnstile, whether it was Paul on there or his brother, can't remember who it was, whether there was a resignation of, well, this is really poor tonight. You know, we've got in, 15 minutes, you know, roughly 15 minutes before kick-off, whether you're going to have a good gate or a bad gate. And he obviously didn't feel it, and it wasn't coming through there. I definitely sensed a resignation of, it looks as though it's getting bad. It's getting worse than ever before now. We're not commanding a gate. I don't know what their lowest gate was prior to that, but Tuesday night, it was a cold night.
Oh, yeah.
It was a cold, windy night. You don't want to be watching football at the best of times when it's like that, but when you go in to watch a team that's getting battered left, right and centre,
you really wouldn't.
People don't come and watch Scam for the same reasons, you know, and being further away from home than we want to be as well. So nobody wants to go travelling on a rainy, cold Saturday afternoon or Tuesday evening when it's piddling it down. Nobody wants to go and watch football when the club's struggling. So
True.
Yeah, I feel sorry in the sense, I think, like I say, a lot of people have probably made overtures towards Paul, but whether anybody has actually given any cast iron guarantees and give him something concrete that he can believe in. Otherwise, very much looks like it's a labour of love, and he's probably said to himself, if I can't have you, nobody else can. I don't know. I don't know what's going on in the man, but you know what? There's absolutely no doubt about it. He's put heart, soul, sweat and tears into that football club, and it'd be great to get him onto the show just to see what his version of events is, because I think the fact that he probably stays a little bit quieter than the average chair, that he's probably drawing more criticism out of that as well.
Possibly, yeah.
And I can't see a future for them.
No, I don't. I hate saying stuff like this because, you know, we obviously love non-league unconditionally, but I'd be very surprised if they lasted the season.
Yeah. Well, listen, it definitely looks that way. Somebody's going to have to come up with the goods to help them out.
Yeah.
The only thing I'd say is, and then back in the day when any new football club was forming, like of AFC Liverpool, and I think I've said it on this show before, my sort of criticism of clubs like that was, if you want to get involved in non-league football, go and represent someone that's already been going for donkey's years.
Yeah.
Rather, it's like somebody forming a Skelmersdale town in Skelmersdale and going for all the glory that Skem had. Well, you know, I don't know. I'm trying to be careful with what I'm saying here. Help me out.
Yeah. You'd want to endorse the current
I'd say
successes.
help the club that's already in existence. I think too many, and it's not just clubs that have just started recently, it's clubs that are in existence. They'd sooner see a club go out of business than help it, and that's sad in itself, particularly when they've got a decent history. Now, as I say, they're 10 years old now, City of Liverpool, so all of that feeling of you should have been supporting another non-league football club, that's faded now. There's actual supporters there that love the football club, and it's them that you've got to feel sorry for.
Oh, yeah.
They've invested their time and effort and
their money
into watching City of Liverpool, and it all feels as though it's coming apart at the seams, and that for me is sad. Forget what I believed originally, but yeah. If you can help City of Liverpool, is there anybody out there that's got a few bob and can see a future in City of Liverpool? Because I still think there is a future for them with a bit of help. Well, listen, said enough there. We'll move on. The invitation's open to Paul if he ever fancies coming on the show.
Yeah.
We'll move on to Division One North.
Division One North.
Now, Thornton Collieries is a team that we've not really talked about an awful lot. They're top of the division.
I mean, where the hell did that come from?
I know. Well, first of all, they're unbeaten in the last 7 games. So the manager, Paul Gregory, is doing a fantastic job right now.
Certainly is. Get him on the show.
Yeah, listen. Well, I've added him onto me Twitter. I've followed him on Twitter, and he's followed me back. So that's my intention. I'm going to get in touch with him. So they beat Fulwood Amateurs in their Boxing Day derby fixture in front of 319 people. Amazing. Then last Saturday they had another 5-2 win over Main Road in front of 312 people.
That's a smashing result.
Well, supporters are clearly liking what they're seeing.
Oh yeah, of course they are. And this is a weird thing, because last season Thornton Collieries weren't really much of anything, with the greatest of respect to them. I think they finished about 13th in the league last season. Hadn't had a, we knew that up there on the kind of the top end of the Fyle district where they are, it's a little bit more isolated. I know further down you've got Squiresgate, Garstang, AFC Blackpool, but they've kind of sat by themselves, accrued a very decent crowd, and they tend to average about 250 per game over at their ground. They've got a couple of really good players in there as well, and now they're starting to patch together like a seriously good winning run. So yeah, beating beating Main Road by 5-2. That's quite applaudable, very much. Again, in front of a crowd of 300 plus, and that takes them top of the table. Now, Nelson do have an awful lot of games in hand, but all the other teams around them don't. It's just incredibly congested up there, with 1st and 9th being separated by 4 points.
Yes, the most unpredictable.
Absolutely incredible.
Most unpredictable Division 1 North I've seen for a long time.
I've never seen anything like it. This is insane, but it's so exciting, because any one of those any one of those 11, 12 teams could still at any point break into the playoffs. Squiresgate 3 weeks ago were about 15th. They're now 3rd.
Oh yeah.
It's really weird.
How many games have they played though?
Squiresgate, 20.
20, yeah. Oh yeah, there's not a great deal of difference then.
No, there's not. No.
Going back to Thornton Collieries, they've got an absolute huge junior section as far as I'm aware.
Did you?
So that's probably why they're getting really good gates.
I think that's a part of it, yeah. I mean, it's quite isolated up there on the Fylde coast, isn't it? So I didn't know that there'd be a big kind of junior section behind it. It's not actually something that we've ever really discussed on there, is how Thornton Collieries are, A, making their money, and B, sustaining their following at this point. Now, I know that the gates have started to climb up from about 270 last year to 310 this year, and I think that's as a result of how well they're doing in the league. So they're far removed from the team that we played last season.
But I think they were getting relatively good gates last season as well, because it was their first season in the North West Counties. It's a nice little setup as well.
It was their first season in the North West Counties last season.
Yeah. I think so. Because we played them, didn't we, for the first time ever? Okay.
So where were they before that?
I think they were in the West Lancs League.
Oh, really?
Listen, I'll find that out while you waffle on.
I actually did not know. Well, that's absolutely bonkers. Thornton Collieries managing a 5-2 win over Main Road, which is about as stylish as they come, quite frankly. But then they also know how to grind out the results as well. The evidence there at hand being the 1-0 win over Fulwood Amateurs, a Fulwood Amateurs team who are making some good waves in their first season in semi-professional football, having spent a lot of time on the amateur circuit.
And have the league, like I said,
and have the league's top scorer in Spencer Lucas, but he was nullified from the start as Cleveland's kept a clean sheet. Try saying that 5 times fast. And then Daniel Stoney scoring the goal 15 minutes from time that would give them the 3 points as well. A really excellent result there for Cleveland's. Yeah. And that takes them top.
Yeah, so listen, we'll move on to Nelson. Of course, we predict they're going to be the team that are going to come strong towards the end of the season and pip everyone. So they're in second place at the moment, just 1 point behind Thornton, following a 2-0 win over Darwin on Boxing Day. A Max Kane brace secured all 3 points for them away from home in front of a healthy crowd of 381, and a good result at Darwin.
And that is a very good result at Darwin. We know Darwin have got a bit of a flair for playing football, and that's a local derby in itself, isn't it? Darwin and Nelson, not separated by very much at all. So it's a good, healthy crowd of nearly 400 there over in the Evo Anchor Stadium to see that game. And Max Kane, one of the league's most potent goal scorers, they're starting to get back into a keen run of goal scoring form after having been a little bit inconsistent over the course of the season, but starting to come up with the goods now, and a Boxing Day double to see Nelson up to second and with 5 games in hand on Thornton Collieries at the top.
Yeah, so the shock result of the festive weekend was Ashton Athletics 3-1 win over Ashton Town.
That's mental.
And away from home, so they've lifted themselves off the bottom of the league, and in doing so, I feel as though they're giving themselves a good chance of survival now.
I think that's a possibility. Yeah. So I think I don't know whether it's going to be a relegation based on performance like it was for us last season, or whether the team that finishes bottom is going to go down. I would have thought.
But I sent you that piece earlier on today, didn't I?
Which we are going to discuss.
We're going to discuss later on in the. So we'll sort of come to that later on, but it could have good implications for them.
It could. So they are. They've accrued 14 points now after. Josh Nicholson double and Jonathan Sodai secured a priceless victory in the Ashton Makerfield derby there at the Barton Stadium, home of Ashton Town, who went ahead after 10 minutes through Chad White and must have thought they were on their way against a Ashton Athletic side who've had a very poor run of form this season, not won for about 7 games, but have started to break that barrier. That's that cycle now with that win over their neighbours. They're up to 17th, having leapfrogged Garstang, who replaced them at the bottom of the table.
I'm not naming names, but somebody that actually went to the game said it looks very much like Ashton Town's wheels have fallen off.
Really?
Yeah. So it's not looking good for them at the moment.
That's interesting, because they have some good players on their side. Yeah. I know that they've lost 1 or 2. Connor Reddy obviously signed for Burscough, and George Lomax isn't playing as much these days, but they've still got players like...
George is playing at Clay Brown now, isn't he?
Clay Brown. But they've still got Chris Lomax, who's as potent a striker as they come. They've got Mikey Howard, who's... his reputation for goal scoring needs no introduction to Scam United fans. No. So they've still got some cracking players in their team, so I'm not sure.
But underachieved over the last 3 seasons, and how much, there's a lot of money being ploughed into the football club as well.
Is there?
Yeah, by all accounts. So it's got to turn somewhere, and it's just not happening again this season.
Do you think Kev Towie is going to be worried?
I don't know. It depends what his relationship is with his chairman, and there'll always be sort of unforeseen circumstances, reasons, mitigating circumstances for why things not working. Whether it's injuries, you just don't know what's going on behind the scenes. So it depends on how much trust the two have got in each other. But listen, it's like anything; it's a results driven business. If you're not getting to where you want to be, and let's be honest about it, that's where they want to get to.
Yeah.
They want to get into the North West Counties Premier Division. It's certainly not been anywhere near happening over the last few years.
No, it hasn't. Thank you.
Yeah, he's still eating chocolate here.
I've got caramel all over the place.
I'm going to have to sell my missus off for feeding him. Anyway, listen, we'll move on to Division One South. So Runcorn Town are still top of the table. They went to Barnton for the Cheshire Derby and beat them 2-0 in front of a crowd of 407.
That's a good fantastic
gate. Yeah. There's now a 9-point gap between them and second placed Eccleshaw beat Market Drayton Town on Boxing Day 2-0, and there's absolutely no change at the bottom.
Mm-hmm. So Wolverhampton Sporting Community just adrift at the bottom there of Hormond, a 7-point gap between bottom and second bottom, and Shawbury United are in 17th position with 14 points there. So with Wolverhampton Sporting Community all but down and out at this point, unless a minor miracle comes around, it'll be interesting to see whether anyone of Hormond or Shawbury United will get caught up in any kind of relegation fodder that may come about.
Well, we'll talk about Shawbury in the sort of controversial corner of the programme.
Oh, yes.
But we'll listen for now. We'll move on to the local football, Marine and Southport. So Marine versus Southport on Boxing Day. That was played out in front of a crowd of 2,314, possibly Marine's biggest gate of the 21st century, and they managed to walk out with a 4-2 win. So congratulations,
tremendous result
to
for
Marine.
them.
Marine couldn't beat Chorley to follow that up, so they lost 2-1 last week.
Yeah.
And their game at Peterborough at the weekend was affected by weather, so that was called off. Meanwhile, Southport lost 4-2 at home to Ashton United the previous weekend, but gained a point against Scarborough. So they've sort of made a little bit of a recovery after a poor festive fixture list.
Yeah, they have. So to look at the table here, so Marine have been able to consolidate middle of the park there, so they are 11th, which 12 months ago they were absolutely adrift at the bottom there. So a wonderful turnaround by Bobby Grant and his team there to keep them comfortably in the middle of the park, with the possibility of jumping up towards, dare I say, the top six there. They're only 3 points behind Scarborough in 6th, with a game in hand on the Coastal Boys from East Yorkshire. Chorley are in 12th, maybe underachieving a little bit given last season's exploits when they made it into the playoffs and were beaten in the semi-finals by Scunthorpe. But Southport and Neil Dans, a very positive turnaround for them. We noticed that they pulled together some decent results. A lot of draws involved in that sequence there, but accruing enough points to pull them clear of the bottom 4, and now in 19th place. Got a game in hand on a few teams above them, including Bedford Town and Worksop, and with a possibility for climbing just that little bit further.
But far away from safety, really, relatively speaking. So they've still got an awful lot of work to do.
Still got a lot of work to do.
And you know what I found out the other day? I noticed Tony Bellew is going to watch a lot of the games. Don't know whether you noticed that, yeah. So he lives in Birkdale anyway, Tony.
Okay.
So he moved from Orton a couple of years ago, I think, and he's moved into a nice big mock Tudor mansion that he's
lovely.
Basically ripped to shreds and started all over again with. Lovely house. But yeah, I just thought because he was living in Southport, he started watching Southport. But apparently, big friends, childhood friends with Neil Dans.
Did not know that.
No, I didn't know that.
I didn't even know that Neil Dans was local, was he?
Well, he's a Scouser, isn't he, I think?
Is he a Scouser?
I think so, yeah.
Why did I think he was a Londoner? Christ, I know
nothing
about this.
You can Google that while I talk.
There you go.
So listen, we'll move to the controversial corner. Prescot Cables. Once again, they've been forced into making financial cutbacks, leading to players leaving, most notably their goalkeeper, Calvin Hare. My question to you, is it right to pull the budget mid-flow, or should you even offer a budget of the sort that they did at the beginning of the season if you can't sustain it?
So first of all, Neil Dans is a Scouser.
Yeah, there you go.
Fine, fair enough. Is it right to pull the budget mid-flow?
They've done it now twice, haven't they? So they've done it. I'll say they've done it twice. There was a problem before the beginning of last season,
that was the one that led to that brief interchange of management, wasn't it?
Yeah, between Steve Daly and
Dave Dempsey.
So there was an issue back then with budgets and money being withdrawn and what have you. So they're back in a similar position now. A lot of clubs, believe it or not, they plough all their early budget up until Christmas, see where they are in the league, and then they pull it.
That's mean.
If they're not, well, as it stands now, if you look at the Northern Premier League Division One West, I think they're in the.
They're in division. They're in the Premier Division.
Premier Division of the Northern Premier League. So there's not a great deal of difference between where they are and vying for the playoff positions. There's not a great deal of points difference, but you kind of get the feeling that you have a feeling of whether you're going to do well.
Oh yeah,
and maybe Prescot feel as though they're not going to, and that's why they've decided to reduce the budget.
Well,
I don't think they're getting the gates they were last season either, are they? So I think they were near enough 900 average the season before.
Yeah.
When they got promoted, and then it's dropped back down to around about 600 and something.
Something like that, yeah.
So if you're losing 300 on the gates, then you can understand why you would have to. But then you would never speculate purely on your gates alone anyway.
No, you wouldn't, no. So Prescot Cables at the minute, 16th in the league out of 21.
Yeah.
Okay. They are 9 points ahead of Workington, who currently occupy bottom of the table. They're also 2 points behind 13th place. All right, so they've got plenty of reasons to be optimistic if they manage to put together a couple of decent runs. They are the league's draw specialists with 10 draws from those 23 games. Annoyingly enough, there's 5 wins and 8 defeats coming from that bunch of results there. You can't rely solely on the gates. Okay, so their average attendance now is 563. Their highest being 909. Their lowest being 411. So it's not terrible by any stretch of the imagination. But in
comparison to last season, I don't know what the figures were, but I'm sure they were a lot higher than that.
Yeah, you might be right there. I know that they finished a lot higher than their current place of 16th at the minute. I think they finished about 12th or something, 11th last season.
Well, I think Andy Barlow said to me the other day, if they get relegated and they start doing well next season, the gates will be bigger than they are now, which doesn't make sense. The time when you need the people to support you when you're going through a rocky period.
It's really, football's fickle for fans,
it's awful,
man. It really is.
It's a nightmare for people, for owners, for directors, for volunteers, for people that are involved with a football club. It doesn't matter what level. The minute you start underperforming and the gates shrink, your income does, and then you can't do anything about it. You spiral out of control.
You do, yeah, because it all has a knock-on effect. But again, does that pose the question of, are we relying too much on gates to maintain steady cash flow?
Well, I knew people that used to, back in the day when I was first chairman, that used to speculate on what they'd make out of the FA Cup and the FA Trophy.
And base part of their performance on that.
Yeah, well, they'd say, well, okay, we're going to make £10,000 out of the FA Cup.
Yeah.
Or we're going to make, FA Cup and FA Trophy, and we're going to get I don't know, 400 supporters a week at X amount of pounds, and we're going to have
ludicrous, isn't it?
So their budget is based on what their speculation is for the season. I've always been a sort of cash in the bank kind of guy, and you always feel as though if you overstretch, then you can pull it back. And it's good housekeeping, by the way. I'm not suggesting it isn't. But Prescot Cables, if they've decided to cut the budget now because they're going to get themselves into trouble, they've done the right thing.
Yeah, they're keeping their safety at hand, aren't they?
Yeah, so you can't really argue over that.
No, you can't really argue with it. I just think that there has to be a consistent, reasonable budget throughout the majority of the season. I know that every single team in the league starts out being ambitious, whether that's avoiding relegation, sitting at mid-table, looking at the top 6 for playoffs, or automatic promotion. You've got to have your ambition, 100%. You've also got to team that with a lot of pragmatism, particularly in this day and age when non-league clubs are just, falling dangerously close to the mire. We had it last season. We were very fortunate that we worked hard enough that we were able to, consolidate some of our own monies and get some decent investment in. But we've already seen about 4 teams fold this season from the start. Widnes, Bedlington Terriers, Farsley Celtic, all of these teams that are now just falling at the wayside here because of poor investment. So I think if you're going to pull a budget mid-flow, I think that was offering a bit more of a delusional hope of success and pinning it on a constant overflow of good gates.
Unless there's a level of cockiness there, thinking that we're going to pull the budget, so we're aiming it at the top players. Maybe their feeling is that they've got players coming through that can do an equal job to them at less.
It's very possible, yes. So they made no secret of the fact that Calvin Hare went to the club asking for an increase in his current wage, and that was knocked back to the point where he's left.
It surprises me that a club would even say that. I mean, you don't have to say that, do you?
They were very open about it for some reason.
But as a club, do you have to say that somebody's approached and asked for more money? Because they're already reducing the budget, so I would assume Calvin Hare was probably going to get less rather than more.
Yeah, I think he was one of their top earners, but nonetheless, he decided, they said that they're asking for more. And it didn't happen, and then sort of beyond that, he's now left the club. Ben Elliott is the other one that has gone.
Has Calvin found himself another club yet?
Well, I'm looking at that now, and it doesn't appear to be. That
I don't think there'll be any shortage of offers because he's a fabulous goalkeeper.
Is he?
Yeah. He was at City of Liverpool last season, wasn't he?
Oh, was he now? That's interesting.
Yeah, brilliant player.
Right, okay. So yeah, I don't know where he is now, but Ben Elliott has returned to the Northwest Counties, and I'm just trying to find out which team he's joined. I want to say that it's Ramsbottom, but I might be wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'd expect it to be one of the bigger clubs, wouldn't you, considering that he's coming down so far?
Yeah, and one with a bit of money behind them, do you think?
Yeah.
Ben Elliott. Give us a minute.
Well, listen, I'll leave that one with you while I move on to Runcorn Linnets. So, Runcorn Linnets, Michael Ellison is back in charge of Runcorn Linnets following the resignation of Brad Cooke. Speculation, and it's purely speculation, is that Cooke, who was in line for the Berry job originally before the other bloke got the job, what's his name?
Michael. Oh.
We're really suffering from Christmas fatigue.
Yeah, Michael.
Yeah, but whoever it was, anyway, he resigned, didn't he, after 48 hours in controversial circumstances. Michael Jolly, that's the one. So there was speculation that Cooke was in line for the job before Jolly got the actual nod. The speculation, like I say, is that he's resigned in anticipation that he could be the new Berry manager. Nothing to confirm, that's all just pure speculation, but it'd be interesting to see whether any of this at the end of the season comes to fruition, but we'll come to Berry.
Yeah, we will do, yeah.
So have you found out any more about Ben Elliott?
I have. He's joined West Didsbury and Chorlton.
Oh, well,
or should I say he's rejoined them. He was a very prolific goal scorer for West Didsbury and Chorlton the first time he went around there, which was in about 2002. And then obviously at Prescot Cables, and now he's back at the Step Places Stadium. So a real coup for them as Ben Elliott lines up alongside current striking duo Jordan Lazenbury and Victor Abadaki to make quite the front three for West.
Yeah, sounds good for them. Listen, moving on to Atherton Collieries. Sadly, we've talked about Brad Cooke, and we could talk about Michael Clegg in the sort of same circumstances. Has he resigned of the manager as manager of Atherton Collieries because he would like to have a little bit of a break before he takes up the job at Berry? I think that's a little bit less likely. The official line was that he'd left for business and family reasons. We've had him on the show. We know he's an extremely busy businessman in the window cleaning business, isn't he? Cranes, and does high-rise buildings and what have you, making a lot of money out of that from what I gather.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a tough business to be in, and he'll no doubt be overworked. But could he genuinely be a candidate for the Berry job? Or should we move on to Berry and say, well, listen, Berry are doing all right at the moment, aren't they? They're in third place.
Yeah, they've stabilised a lot now under Tim Lees. I think people are talking about Bury even less. I think they are. I think things are starting to kind of calm down at Bury, and they're kind of at that point now where they can, try and push for the playoffs even more. They've got a bit of work to do to catch up with Avro and Lower Breck, but they're right in the mix there.
Well, yeah, so the third place, they're behind Avro, who they play, incidentally, at the weekend at Gig Lane. That's a huge game.
It's a massive game.
It's also an opportunity for them to go slightly above Avro if they manage to win. Like I say, Lower Breck is still at the top there. But Tim Lees is, we've said he's been appointed as the interim manager alongside his assistant, Sam Ashton. They battered Stalybridge 6-2 on New Year's Day. Do you think there's a good case for keeping Lees, or is the club too big and they need to look at somebody far more experienced?
I think what Tim Lees has on his side is that he's been able to kind of come in under the radar a little bit under Dave McNabb. He's kind of learned a bit more of his trade there at Gig Lane without being under the spotlight, so to speak. And when everything was kind of going off about who the manager should be after Dave McNabb and the whole farce with Jolly, to have Tim Lees there as a bit of a mainstay.
He was a bit of a people's choice.
Very much so. A lot of people wanted Tim Lees in there.
But do we know many clubs where the supporters' choice works out? For example, when Manchester United employed Ole Gunnar Solskjaer as their manager, that didn't work out, did it?
Yes, he did. He went.
Yeah, he went out, did it? Because he's not there.
Well, no, he wasn't there, but he's had the longest run of any manager in the dugout at Old Trafford since Fergie left, and he's the only one to surpass 100 games for the club.
But it didn't work.
Well, eventually it didn't.
No.
I think it all kind of
so
went
the
wrong.
people's choice doesn't always work. That's the point I'm trying
to make. Well, I mean, United is just a poison chalice all of its own. I see what you're saying though, and I see that the people's choice doesn't necessarily work. I mean, do you remember Roberto Di Matteo came in as the caretaker manager for Chelsea, won the Champions League, and then was sacked 6 months later? Roy Keane came in as the manager of Sunderland and took them up from the bottom of the Championship all the way into the Premier League. So sometimes the people's choices, they can work, but then it's very easy to kind of expose their lack of experience as to reason why they are not making a success of it. And I get that everybody as a manager has to start somewhere, and then every assistant manager can and will be ready to take that step up into the hot seat. Bury is a bit of a different beast, and I would hope that Tim Lees, for all of how this goes, and I have no doubt that the players will play for him, and I hope to God that it's not a new manager bounce, but whatever happens with Tim, I just hope that he has kind of the constant support of the fans behind him, given that they made so much noise to have him there in the first place.
Well, listen, question for any Bury supporter that's listening: who would you like to see come to the club? Or would you like to see Tim Lees and Sam Ashton stay in situ as they currently are and seem to be doing a relatively good job? But then I don't think particularly Dave McNabb was doing a particularly bad job.
No, he wasn't doing a bad job. But again, I think this kind of comes back to what I was saying about Bury being a different beast. I think at non-league, most chairmen and structures of ownership have a pretty pragmatic view as to how a manager's ambitions and targets should run. Not Bury. I think that because Bury were so long comfortable and capable in the professional game, to now see them at non-league, I think they feel like they should be back from where they used to be, and it's only the financial constraints that led to their demise that is stopping them this time around there, and there shouldn't really be any excuses for anything else. They're not short of money, they shouldn't be short of investment on the pitch, and they shouldn't be holding battle in the Northern Premier League West. They should be at the top, dominating it, running away with it, and getting ready to climb that next step.
And just going back to Atherton, Daniel Lafferty is now taking control as the new manager.
Yeah, Coles is going to have a little bit of a tricky time, I think.
Yeah, they're not the sort of below middle table at the moment, are they? Just
Well, they were 5th 2 months ago.
I know, yeah.
It's absolutely bonkers to kind of think about where they were initially and kind of where they are now. And it probably underlines the kind of topsy-turvy nature of the Northern Premier League in all of its... Or just non-league in itself in all of its... I mean, they're 10th now. So they're middle of the park. They're above teams like Whitton Albion, Kidsgrove, Clitheroe.
And what's the points difference between them and the playoffs?
8.
Yeah. 8 points.
8 points. That's all it is. And 2 or 3 games. That's all it is, and they're right back in there with a good shout there.
Well, listen, we're talking about silly season now, aren't we? I mean, we're not talking about managers sacked here, but managers resigned and all the people taking over these football clubs.
Yeah.
But probably one of the most bizarre stories over the holiday period was Matty Boswell stepping down as manager of Telford Town and taking over Shawbury United.
Yeah.
So gone from being third top to a club third from bottom of the league.
This is absolutely correct.
Which doesn't make any sense now. So the chairman, Hayden Dando, since had to fight off speculation about his alleged resignation. There was also talks of cutting budgets and what have you, and rumours a fair while back, further than that, when there was discussions about him taking over a new club. He's totally refuted these allegations and said, listen, we run a very tight ship here, we're well organised, we maintain what we can afford, and we're running the club in the best possible way. But you start to sort of link the two things together, and why would, I'd like to have spoken to Matty and asked him the reason why he's gone to Shawbury, because on the face of things it doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense. It's very, very quiet as well. Two teams that don't exactly blow their horn an awful lot on social media anyway, but they made their separate announcements that Boswell had left Telford and that he'd taken up the reins at Shawbury, and there wasn't much fanfare from Shawbury. I think they were just wanting to kind of let him come in with a little bit of acknowledgement and then get straight down to work, because obviously they've got a bit of a job on their hands to kind of have a season that isn't disappointing. I know they stayed up last season, but for so long they were at the bottom. I mean, it was only during the last 5-6 weeks of the domestic league that they managed to overhaul Wolverhampton sporting community and get a bit more of comfort behind them. Whereas now they are doing much better in the kind of the grand scheme of the season. But how on earth did they get Matty Boswell in? He formed such a good.
I thought, first of all, is there a geographical reason why Matty would go to another football club? They're in a similar area, aren't they? Shawbury.
Roughly speaking, yeah. But even so, like, we know managers who travel sort of considerably longer to get to their club. Obviously, Richard Brodie living in Southport, and he's travelling all the way over to Glossop once upon a time. Quite ludicrous circumstances there for doing a manager's job. But Shawbury aren't exactly filled with money. There'd be no cash incentive for Boswell to go there, and even if there was, I don't think that would be it. Shawbury will have given him something.
He's took all his team with him, hasn't he, as well?
I didn't know that. So I tend to look...
So Steve Hinks has been announced as the new manager of Telford. I believe he's taken all his team with him. Oh,
that's interesting. So I tend to look at the registration processes that go through on the North West Counties website, because with no children I have absolutely nothing to do with my spare time, so I am probably, apart from Kevin Lawton, the most active user of the North West Counties Football League website. My Christ,
I spend an awful lot of time on an awful lot of websites. I'm basically trying to get information for this show.
I mean, I'd delete your history if I was you, mate. But anyway, You kind of... looking on here, it doesn't look like there was any...
animosity. There's no fallout.
Well, no animosity.
He's praised the chairman, the football club, all the people that are behind it.
Yeah.
Expressing how wonderful the football club is, how well run it is as well.
Yeah.
So there doesn't seem to be any animosity at all there.
No.
You would assume that probably the closest to any of the speculation that could be true is that budgets were cut, and that's the only reason why he's gone.
But Shawbury having a bigger budget than Telford, I mean, I can't... I don't see it. I don't know what Shawbury have in terms of their structure and capacity.
No, I don't know anything about them. But we need to get somebody on from Shawbury as
That'd
well.
be great.
There's so many teams to talk to, isn't there?
There really is. Yeah, we've got a few, and your internet is dropping off. Chose the absolutely best time to.
The speed's dropping off, is it?
The internet in general, or is it just?
Yeah, it won't be me. I've got super fast. Super duper fast.
Oh, good for you. No, it is the North West Counties website.
Yeah.
Fine. I didn't know that they were that a lot of the players had gone over from Telford.
No, I don't know about the players, but his backroom staff.
His backroom staff. I would have almost believed that they would have gone with him, because usually you find that if managers' backroom staff tend to go with him wherever they go, unless they're ready to make that step up, like your man Tim Lees.
But it was very much, we felt as though, certainly when we spoke to Matty, that it was a club that was put together, constructed, rather than a full team brought in.
Yeah.
It was more cherry picking than.
Oh yeah, they've done that. But so I mean, it's a big club. It's a big club. I know that they've got AFC Telford Town, AFC Telford United in their ranks. Nearby, so they're kind of having to fight a bit of a David and Goliath battle there. But they did so well at the start of this season. They had such good potential for making the playoffs, and I'm not saying that that's not wiped out by now by doing this. They still one of the form teams that are unbeaten in their last 6 games. But what's this going to do to their prospects for this season on the long term, if indeed, as you would think would happen, Boswell ends up taking a few players to Shawbury with him? Yeah,
well, you've got to keep looking at that North West Counties registration page.
I will, when it works.
Yeah. But listen, can we move on to Ruben? Listen, we try to sort of not move too close to the more professional ranks, but I wanted to mention Ruben Amorim because, one, you're a Manchester United fan.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to discuss that, obviously, we know that his press release was designed to get himself the sack. I think we agree with that, don't we?
To a degree, yeah. I think he's a man who is unflinchingly stubborn in his ways. If you'll never get him to change. You won't. And I think what has happened is Jason Wilcox or somebody at the higher uppers has tried to get him to change, and he's not having it. So he's waited to get himself sacked.
There's no doubt about it. He was employed as a coach. He's turned that round and made it sound, I came here as a manager.
No, he's a coach.
It was always going to be a coach.
Yeah.
I think what he's decided now is that he said, listen, everybody else is not doing their job. So if they're not doing their job, I've got to micromanage them. I've got to tell them what to do.
Yeah.
So really, do you need people at the football club that working against you?
The thing is, I think he's almost working.
What's wrong with having an old-fashioned manager at a professional football club anymore? Why doesn't it work anymore?
What would you say is an old-fashioned manager? Because for me, I think of old-fashioned manager, I think of Mike Bassett writing the team down on the back of a fag packet and playing a simple 4-4-2. Exactly.
Yeah. Well, okay. So I was watching Paddy McGuinness host that podcast with Paul Scholes. Is it Nicky Butt?
Yeah.
Well-headed fella anyway. And basically what they're saying is that if you go back to the last sort of old-fashioned manager that manages everything, does everything, then you're talking about Alex Ferguson. What Alex Ferguson used to say to his players before he put them on the pitch is just go out there and do what you do. There was no coaching. There was no trying to change him and say, listen, you need to play like this. So every single game that you go out to now, it's all down to logistics and statistics. I can't even say the word.
Is it micromanagement?
The over-analysing situations.
Mm-hmm.
So football's got to that stage now where it's become really, really anal.
I was watching United against Burnley in Darren Fletcher's first game in charge, and it struck me how much of professional football has now turned into a chess match. You make a few moves forward, you come back, you go to the side, go all the way to the other side, bit forward, back, side, and it was outrageously boring. I couldn't believe what I was watching, knowing that these players were on millions of pounds a month, a year. And we're seeing more exciting stuff on this windy-arse field in the middle of Lancashire.
Yeah.
Because old-fashioned managers, I think, are still around, but they're here. Because they haven't really got statistics or anything like that to employ.
Well, you haven't got step 7. You can't go scouting at the weekend. You've got nobody to go and watch, I don't know, Joey Orr's, your next opponents, as it is Netherley FC. You're not sending people out to go and analyse them and tell them that how you should play in opposition to them.
Yeah.
I'm one of these that I can't understand there's that many different formations unfolding in football during the game. So you've got your defensive formation, your attacking formation, all of this possession,
in possession, out possession formation.
It just boggles the mind, and it's great higher up the pyramid. Certainly in the Premier League you can understand it, but even Man City now under Pep Guardiola, they're not doing a great job right now, are they?
No.
Playing from the back. Well, yeah, to sum things up, Liverpool won the league last season.
Yes.
But everybody will say the same thing, that Manchester City were the most exciting football team to watch play.
Oh, yeah. I think that's been the case for a while, to be honest. City have always been, well, not always, but for the last few years, they have been a team sort of really bent on this good brand of football that is actually quite exciting to watch, particularly when had players like De Bruyne, Silva, Bernardo Silva, all of those players who had that creative incision to.
You've got to have the greatest components to pull that off.
But it was a different style of play, wasn't it? You've got playmakers in the middle of the park. You haven't necessarily got the flying wingers anymore, and that was what I loved about football from Fergie's days. That it was all kind of very limited in sort of possession based, but you just get the ball out to the wingers and you look to run, you look to take them on, you look to, I love him for this because he's one of our players, but Connor Johnston will never ever shy away from an opportunity to take a player on. Neither will Reece Carrington, neither will Brandon. They're so full of flair in how they play. Cam O'Neill, who's been out for a few games, or his capability for taking players on has won us a couple of games, or it's earned us a goal. You're not seeing that up there because it just so much feels like a chess match where every single move is overanalyzed and takes 27 minutes to implement, and then you go right back to defensive again and you start again.
So where would you put Klopp's style amongst that? Because Klopp, back in his day, it was all about, if you lose possession, gain possession as quickly as you can.
It was gegenpress,
and attack. Is that the kind of football that we want to watch?
I think so. Yeah.
Where you've got to outscore the opposition. You know you're going to concede. You're going to concede 4 goals, but you're going to score 5.
It was a bit more swashbuckling play, wasn't it, really? Yeah. I think there's got to be a bit more of a hard line here. I mean, I've said it before for so long, is that goals will win you games, but defences will win you trophies. And I still stand by that now. I just think that there has to be I think there's a really fine line between a good, solid defensive structure like how there was in Mourinho, who was boring as anything to watch, but he knew how to shut out an opposition, and then someone of the Fergie Klopp mentality, where entertaining football is so much of what the game is about and what fans pay to see. And I think you've got to balance that out really well, and it's very, very difficult to pull off, because chances are for what you overinvest in one end, you undercompensate for at another, so the balance kind of tips one way or another. So you're either absolutely amazing defensively, but you've got nothing going on up front, or you're winning games 7-5, so you're leaking goals but you're scoring en masse.
But going back to Ruben, he's not playing the style of football that Manchester United supporters are accustomed to, so they've not bought into it from the start. But what is Jim Ratcliffe thinking? by employing him in the first place. They've obviously, you would like to think that they've done the homework.
Yeah.
So all this news came, was it Monday morning, was it?
Yes, it was.
So it was Sunday, was it Sunday night when he had his rant?
Yeah, it was just after the Leeds game, wasn't it? So it was Sunday afternoon.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, they'll have done their homework on Amorim, and I think they will have probably come to the conclusion that the 3-4-3 can work with some good investment. Okay, we saw that Conte won the league with a 3-4-3 formation at Chelsea back in 2015. Oh, no, 2017, I think it was, something like that. He played a 3-4-3 with wing-backs, and he won the league with it. So there's no reason that it shouldn't work.
But it doesn't work. It's not what people invest in as a Man United supporter.
Well, I don't know if that's entirely the issue out of it.
If you're winning, then people will forgive formations, styles, as long as you're winning.
Yeah.
Titles, and I'm talking about titles, European Cups, FA Cups, League Cups. You've got to be winning, haven't you?
Well, he'd done a lot of that in Portugal. You know, he'd won. I think he'd won a domestic title with Sporting. Prior to him coming, and he'd taken on Manchester City with his Sporting Lisbon team with this 3-4-3 formation, and he'd beaten them over 2 legs. Yeah. And they were his last games as Sporting manager before he got the call from United. There was no reason that this shouldn't have worked. I think.
Well, bringing Wilcox to the club, ex-Man City player, was that a good?
Yeah. I'd be more worried about Barada if we're talking about ex-Man City players, because he was the chief exec there for 5 years, whereas Wilcox played there fleetingly. Sorry, he didn't. He was in a management role very, very fleetingly, but a lot of his time was spent at Southampton. So there's no sense there that
Wilcox did play, didn't he?
Wilcox played, yeah. Wilcox was part of the Leeds and Blackburn teams that were winning leagues in 92 and 95. Yeah. I think what has happened is that it
doesn't look like Manchester United. It doesn't play like Manchester United. And right at this moment in time, it's Jim Ratcliffe and not Manchester United.
I think there's a few more elements to it than that. So I think the 3-4-3 formation would have worked had Amorim got his tactics correct with it, for one, and his substitutions as well. Because there were times when we were really in control of games and we looked absolutely fine, and he'd bring off a centre half or a centre mid who was really controlling that game, and bring on somebody who was just then upset that balance. Yeah, exactly. He'd upset that balance. So there were times when it worked, but then there were times when he shot himself in the foot. Trying to consolidate the game or whatever. You know, he was 2-0 up against or 3-1 up against Brighton. And then it got back to 3-2 because he'd made substitutions that weren't appropriate. And it took like a last-minute goal from Brian and Burmo to make it 4-2. And then we all kind of breathed a sigh of relief. There are elements to Amorim's game that I think would have worked if he'd have just been a bit more flexible with his play. But he just wasn't. And I think that's his own...
Sorry, and just a correction there. Jason Wilcox didn't play for Man City, like you say, played for Leeds and Blackburn, but he was in a coaching role at Manchester City. And that's the point I'm making, is the connection with your arch rivals.
Not from Wilcox's point of view. If that was going to be the case, you'd be more looking at Barada, who was the chief exec there for several years. But even then...
Well, the bottom line is, anyway, Rubens deliberately got himself sacked.
He's earned a nice little payout from that as well.
And he went out for a nice little walk the following day.
Oh, he was over the moon, yeah. He didn't care.
He was all right. But listen, he won't be the first person that's talked himself into a sacking. Yeah. It happens at non-league level as well. And I'm not going to name names, but I do know of certain managers that have managed at our particular level that have asked their assistant manager to take over as manager. And they sort of drop down to assistant manager. So once that word gets out,
they've kind of shot themselves in the foot there.
They've shot themselves in the foot. You know that they're not as committed to the football club as you first thought they were.
Yeah,
or they've certainly lost the confidence.
Yeah.
So I think, is it a good look to be doing that in terms of your next management role? No. If you're a chairman, owner of a football club now, you'd be looking at Ruben Amorim and thinking he's a bit of a
bit of a combustible figurehead. Yeah. He's combustible in the same way that Conte is, but Conte gets results. Yeah. He's done amazing things at Juventus and Chelsea. He's winning titles at Napoli right now. He had a great run as Italy manager as well. So there's a lot that he gets right.
So Ruben, he goes back to Portugal, Spain maybe, gets a decent job there, gets a few more cup wins or league wins on his CV.
Yeah.
But will he look back on this as a failure?
Yeah.
The biggest club in the world. Nothing gets much better than that. Everything else is not.
I think he'll look at this and find other people to blame.
Yeah.
And that's sad in its own way, because I really liked him. I was there for his first home game. It was a Champions League game against a team from quite a remote area of Europe. I can't remember who. And the crowd were full in song for him. They had an enormous flag that was being pulled over the supporters, bearing his name and a big welcome sign across it for him. United scored within about 2 minutes. It was all going really well.
Well, I think all supporters genuinely want it to work out for a new manager, don't they? Nobody brings a manager as a chairman of a football club. You don't bring a manager to the football club to fail.
No, of course
you bring him there you bring him to the club to be successful, and I think everybody will invest in a character such as Ruben and believe you're going to get the best out of him. It's obviously not worked on this occasion.
No, it hasn't. So it's just be up to see what happens with United now.
Yeah. But listen, moving on to our last sort of controversial issue, and that is the charge against
against
Kidsgrove. So Kidsgrove are charged with breach of FA Rule E20.1. It's alleged that the club failed to ensure its players or technical area occupants did not behave in an improper and or provocative and or violent and or threatening and or abusive and or insulting way around the 82nd minute. Yeah, we'll get there eventually. Yeah. So, if you'd like to pick up on that story, one that you brought to me.
Yeah, it was. So, 2 months ago, Kidsgrove Athletics game against Avro was abandoned after about 83 minutes due to a mass brawl that occurred between players and staff, resulting in Kidsgrove co-manager Tom Pope being sent off, as well as a melee that then erupted in the stands between players and fans. So it took a little while for the investigation from the FA to come through, but they have now formally charged Tom Pope with breaching FA Rule E3.1, which is in acting in an improper manner using abusive or insulting words and behaviour towards match officials, which led to his dismissal. After being sent off, it was alleged that he acted in an improper manner and used violent conduct or threatening or abusive or insulting behaviour. Kidsgrove players Oliver Jepson, Sean Rhodes and Aaron Woolrich were also charged with breaches of FA Rule E3.1, which is the same charge as Pope. It was alleged that Rhodes acted in an improper manner using violent conduct and threatening or abusive or insulting behaviour around the 82nd minute after being sent off. Woolrich acted in an improper manner using violent conduct, and it was alleged that Jepson acted also in an improper manner using violent conduct or threatening and abusive behaviour around that time too. If you remember the footage that took place in there was a moment where the Kidsgrove goalkeeper laid a flat-out punch on one of the fans who'd gone over to the edge of the viewing area.
I thought the bloke that was planted was a relative of one of the Kidsgrove.
I didn't know that, so that's quite interesting.
I don't know. I'm not too sure about the footed head.
But there's a lot of speculation around exactly what went on, and there is footage to kind of back up a modicum of exactly what spilled over there. And a lot of Kidsgrove players and obviously Pope himself have been charged with this. There will be a hearing and a punishment doled out in due course. We have no word yet on when this is going to take place, though, but we do know that charges are in place against Athletic and their representatives.
Bit of a character, Tom Pope, wasn't he?
That's one way of looking at it.
So anyway, moving on. Do we include this in the end show, or should we talk about the midweek mashup? It's an article that was thrown up about the possible changes in the next, not this season, at the end of this season, but the 2027-28 season.
Okay.
So the idea is that I'm assuming all divisions at Step 6 should be 24 teams in each division. Is that right? Have I read it the right way?
That looks like it, yes. So we did bring this to your attention a little while ago, a few months ago, whereby a meeting had taken place between the respective regional leagues of Shropshire and Manchester Lancashire. Oh no, it wasn't, sorry, it was the North West Counties and the Midland Premier League. Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
This is slightly different, isn't it? This is somebody's come up with a scenario. What they've said is, listen, they've taken this from non-league maps on X, which every year predicts league allocations with admirable accuracy.
Yeah, it is.
So it's lifted the lid on what we might, with some confidence, expect to be in place at the start of 2027-28 season.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
I mean, they're going to have to. We're assuming there's got to be enough recruits. This might work well for Skem. My reading of it is, if we don't get promoted at the end of this season, then if they're going to make the shortfall up in the numbers to increase the sizes of the divisions, everybody that applies to be promoted
reasonably guaranteed, won't they?
Will be considered.
Yeah, so at the minute in the North West Counties Division 1, North and South, there's 19 teams in the Division 1 South, 18 teams in the Division 1 North, and it's understood that there are discussions about a Step 6 expansion to 24 teams, 24 divisions nationally. Effectively, it means that where there are 2 divisions at present, there will need to be 3. So that means an expansion of around 18 teams from between Cumbria to Staffordshire, which encapsulates most of Greater Manchester, Lancashire and Merseyside, which converts then the 2 lower divisions into 3. Now, this is meant to reduce travel, costing and logistics, because as we know, there are teams there who can and do have a lot of payout on getting around to certain clubs. Holker Old Boys is one that jumps out in particular from their remote area in the Cumbria region. So what this means is that there will be a third league of around 18 teams or so. So that means 18 fresh teams from around the amateur division.
It's very difficult to read those because they're talking about increasing it to 24 divisions at Step 6.
Yeah, so that's 24 divisions across Britain.
So what would that? We've got a north and south now. Would that be like a north, south, and an east?
I should imagine it being a north, a south, and a west, given our location in Britain.
Yeah.
Yeah, Liverpool's a bit more west. You don't tend to go.
So north would encompass Cumbria.
North would encompass, Cumbria and northern end of Lancashire,
Nelson area,
Thornton Clevelys. That kind of area. West would probably encapsulate most of Merseyside and Cheshire. I
did once ask this bloke that runs this page to come on the show, but he keeps himself rather private. It'd be nice to get somebody, an expert, up on what the possible changes might be in 2027.
Absolutely. So what they're currently suggesting is that there are, if these 3 North West Counties Football League divisions do start to open up, it'll cover Cumbria and Lancashire, Manchester, Liverpool and Cheshire, and Staffordshire and Shropshire, the indication being that they'll be in a league for each region. So it makes it a little bit more regionalised, rather than it being kind of county-wide. It's kind of multi-county, isn't it?
Are we just diluting it again?
Yes,
because you're going to have to recruit more from Step 7.
You are going to have to recruit more than from Step 7.
There's not enough teams. There's not enough teams, certainly in the Liverpool. There might be in the West Lancashire and the West Cheshire and the Cheshire League, but certainly from the Liverpool County Premier, there's not that many teams that have applied in the past for promotion?
Well, no, we are the only one from the Liverpool counties to have applied for Step 6 next season, aren't we? We're the only one.
I think so.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, there will be a little bit more of an expansion. I understand it. And there will be teams that will be moved laterally as well, I should think, from the Midland Premier League into Staffordshire, Shropshire. So you're talking about teams like Winsford United, who are almost certainly going to be in the North West Counties Premier League in 27-28 should this go out. So that's one area that's probably covered. Abbey Hulton United are likely to be another that will move from the Midland Premier League back into the North West Counties. So it's not necessarily all teams coming up from Step 7. There will be some teams from the Midland that are just going to come across. Okay, what this is meant to do, as we say, is just to reduce the amount of monetary demands that there are going to be on teams that have to make large and long journeys from the top end of Lancashire all the way down to Hull. So if we look at a team like what are they called now? Give us a minute. Asheville. So Asheville is based in Wallasey, which is right over the other end of Liverpool by the coastline at Ellesmere Port. They're playing in the First Division South, so that means they've got to come across the width of Liverpool and then down the M6 into the Midlands and Shropshire area to play teams like Wolverhampton Sporting Community and Telford. Okay, that's a massive cost to a team that gets a reasonable following, but not an enormous one. So I think they're just trying to simplify that. I mean, obviously the major simplification in that regard would just be to move Asheville into the Division One North. Because they're as north as the rest of us at this point in time. But
I don't know how you do it, you see, because you can't have... Geographically, you can't have a northeast. You can't have a northeast, west, and south.
No, you'd have a northwest and south.
I don't think you. I think you'd stick to north, south, and east. I don't think you would have a west division.
You'd have to have a west division because that encapsulates all of Liverpool.
No, and I think what you'd look at it is that you'd look at northwest, northeast.
Who would be in the northeast though?
Well, you've got teams coming over. How many? You're getting pretty much to those sort of the Steeton, Boundaries, Bradford, and beyond there, aren't you?
I don't know how they're still in North West Counties, but there again, they're another team who've got to travel quite a bit to get to fulfil a lot of their fixtures. Now they're pretty good. You know, they've got their own ground. They're doing sort of reasonably well there. Imagine Steeton having to shift all the way down to play Winsford. You know, that's massive.
I'd probably go for a north,
a
southwest, and a southeast.
Well, that could work
because you've got a. I mean, we're talking about a pyramid here as well, aren't we? And we're looking at encompassing that there. There's a plethora. There's so many teams in the north, though, isn't there?
Yeah, there are. Ironically enough, they're all saturated within the area of Manchester and Liverpool because there's none up in Cumbria. But you create a bigger
problem, don't you? Because when people get promoted, it's when you're promoted and there's an imbalance.
Yeah.
When there's more teams from the north getting promoted than there is from the south, so eventually you have an imbalance, and you always constantly have to change it. And I don't know if diluting it by increasing more leagues actually helps the matter or makes it worse. Maybe we should go back to the days where when people apply for promotion, they have to sit through a board, an assessment to see whether they are better than the team that they're going to replace. If you go back to the Northern Premier League, when the Northern Premier League was a feeder league to the Division 4 as it was back in the day, so Wigan Athletic replaced Southport. Now, you could finish bottom of the Football League year in, year out, but you weren't guaranteed that you were going to get relegated. You had to prove that you could take the step up.
Yeah.
So if Southport were constantly finishing at the bottom of the Division 4, Wigan Athletic had to prove that they were going to be a better replacement.
Yeah.
They were going to be there was better odds for them to survive.
Yeah.
So I think it might be one of those where you've got to do a little bit more investigation rather than just...
Yeah, I mean, this is an idea that's only being floated. There's nothing concrete at this point in time. They've given themselves, a season and a half to get this right. Okay, so that means a lot of planning and a lot of talking to non-league maps on X and telling him exactly how the battle lines are going to be drawn. But again, that would be really handy to have Mr. Midweek Mashup on the show, if he's listening.
Yeah, listening. Yeah, you get on the show.
Please.
Make contact with us.
That'd be great.
But listen, we'll finish the controversial subjects and we'll move on to the brass tacks and Scam United Football Club.
Yeah.
But before we do, I'd just like to wish, not that you'll be listening, but Kevin Keegan, of course, wish him well with his battle against cancer.
Yeah.
Fabulous player in his time.
He really was, yeah.
And a really good manager at one stage with Newcastle and his gung-go
we'd love it if we beat them. Love it.
Yeah. So listen, best of luck to him.
Very, very much so. Obviously had a sparkling career at Liverpool and Hamburg and Newcastle. Won the European Footballer of the Year award twice. I don't think he's talked about in the same vein as sort of your Bobby Charltons or I don't
even think he's thought as highly as Kenny Dalglish was at Liverpool.
No, I don't think so. No, but
very, very underrated.
Very underrated indeed. I first remember Kevin Keegan when he was manager at Manchester City because they came up to the Premier League in 2002 with him as the manager, and then he lasted a couple of seasons before being replaced, but then he came back to Newcastle in about 2009 and had a brilliant spell there just before they were relegated. So, terrific manager in his own right as well. So we of course wish him and all his family the very best wishes.
Yeah, most definitely.
Right.
So listen, we move on to that part of the show where we look at fixtures, predictions, and we do our expert analysis. But first of all, we talk about Skelmersdale United Football Club because we're heavily invested in that football club.
Oh my God, aren't we just?
We finished off our year 2025 with a spectacular 7-3 win against
MSB Walton Reserves.
MSB Walton Reserves, who had beaten us previously.
3-0, yep.
3-0, so it was a great turnaround. It was a great game, wasn't it?
It was a very exciting game, one that had all the agony and all the ecstasy and everything in between. Even when we made a really fast start to the game, we were 2-0 up inside 8 minutes. Then we concede from a long high ball, which just seems to be our Achilles heel at the minute. We then go 3-1 ahead, then we go 3-2 ahead. They manage to sort of claw a goal back. Then we get it to 5-3. They score a third. They make it 5-3. And then we score 2 more just to kind of finish it off. So it really was topsy-turvy.
And at what minute of the game did you actually relax? When did the sphincter close?
When Tyreek scored, which was it was either the
6th or 7th, yeah. It was one of those games where your heart was very much in your mouth.
Yeah.
But very Klopp-esque style football, really, wasn't it?
Proper.
Lose possession, gain possession, sort of really, really throw everything at the opposition, get those crosses in.
Yeah.
Lots of passes. Lots of crosses, lots of opportunities to score more goals than we actually did as well.
We did, yeah.
We could have easily gone into double figures.
Yeah, we had one hit the bar. Leighton had a header cleared off the line, so that could have got us to 9 easily, and then I'm sure we would have found a way to score a 10th at some point or another. It was absolutely ludicrous game of football. So exciting from one end, but yet so despairingly terrifying from another.
Very, very sort of Mike Bassett, as you mentioned earlier on in the show. It was all 4-4-2, wasn't it? It was nice to see. It's been really hard, difficult to watch that lone striker playing many of the games previously to that and having no success.
Yeah, exactly.
So to see 2 there up front and 2 fast wingers who know each other, obviously brothers. And there's a symmetry about them, isn't there?
There is, yeah. I mean, they're both 5'7" for a start, so there's symmetry there. But no, it's been difficult at times because we know how much that Toby and Leddy both work for the team, but they look laboured sometimes because they're so isolated. But the switch in formation and the opportunity to give Reece and Brandon a bit more licence to run down the wings, and then Connor was able to kind of sit in midfield and kind of dictate a bit more of creative play from deep rather than just behind the striker. And then obviously having Leddy and Toby up front, both fast, both big men as well, that caused a lot of problems for...
Is it fair to say Toby shocked a few people? I mean, I know he shocked Caleb Jones because he didn't know he was as good as he actually is.
I've always had an idea that Toby is good, and I've always known that Toby, if given the opportunity, knows exactly where the goal is. Yeah. I think what surprised me more is his ability to work off the ball. It's how much yardage he covers when he's not in possession. Not only when he's not in possession, but when the team aren't in possession as well. He runs forever. And Leddy did the exact same thing, but we knew that about Leddy already, that Leddy was more than happy to run. But Toby doing that as well, it paid off a really big compliment, because with Woolton reserves trying to play out from the back, they barely had any opportunity to, because Toby was there closing them down really quickly, and then they were conceding set pieces.
Which has normally been the opposite, isn't it? That we've been threatened at the back four ourselves, and we're losing possession very early on in games as well.
We have, So that obviously that movement there, which is winning us set pieces, it's putting pressure on them. It's also allowing people like CJ and Zach to kind of push upon them a little bit and kind of create their own element to the attack as well. And it came off for us so often, and it could have come up on us even better. And then we called to the bench and we bring on Heno Singleton and Tyreek. Obviously Tyreek his quality is a bit unknown because he's only played 2 games for us, but we know what Henry
He played out of position the first game, didn't he?
He was on the left wing. He's naturally a striker.
Halewood, wasn't it?
Exactly, yeah. He's naturally a striker. And you can forgive him for being a little bit off the pace in that game against Halewood. But that game against the reserves, he came on at exactly the right time because he's full of pace, full of energy. Yeah. He loves having the ball at his feet.
And it was a great finish as well.
It was a gorgeous. It was probably the goal of the game, that one.
Who was your man of the match, though? I mean, I felt as though up until the point that he came off again, Zach Thomas, incredible.
For me, I'm going to give it to Brandon, and I'll give it to Brandon because I'm starting to see a lot more of his work off the ball as well, and a lot more of his defensive work, and he's clever as well. He knows when to take his man on.
Strong, isn't he, for that?
Oh yeah. Yeah,
he's a unit.
He's stacked.
His build
exactly. He's absolutely stacked, but he's not tall.
No, he's like a mini bodybuilder, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean, he's a PT by trade anyway.
Yeah.
But he knows.
In training yesterday, he was just phenomenal as well.
Honestly,
he doesn't stop.
No, he's one of the most exciting talents that I've seen in a blue shirt for
him and Reece probably got the 2 fittest players in the team.
100%. Oh yeah, without doubt. Between those two and Joe Turner, very little contest.
Yeah, I mean, we're relatively fit anyway.
We are by far the fittest team.
Yeah.
Because we have structure and routine and demands, and I think the work that Josh does is absolutely amazing. But yeah, for me, Brandon's ability to link up with the centre halves and also his communication with his right back, which was... It was Alex Davis at the start, and then I think it turned into Joe Turner eventually. Yeah. So his ability to kind of link up there, see the overlaps, play the ball in behind, know when to float the cross in, and there was times where he just stood his man and then ran at him, which is exactly what I want to see in a winger. So yeah, for me, it's got to be Brandon. Really has, yeah.
So we're looking forward to the game of the weekend, which is against Netherley in the George Mahon Cup.
In the George Mahon Cup, a team that we have never played before, a team that are in their infancy in existence and are 2 divisions below us, but are running away with that.
Is it 2 or 1?
I'm pretty sure it's 2.
But yeah, they're a good team by all accounts. Talking to Caleb Jones, who knows them, or certainly knows a lot of the players there.
Of course,
he said they're going to be tough opposition on Saturday.
I'd rather they weren't. Can we not just have an easy game?
I don't think there's any such thing as an easy
I
game.
know, I just want one.
I know, yeah. Well, you'd think with a scoreline of 7-3, you'd think that was an easy one, wouldn't you? But there was an awful lot of bum twitching going on.
Yeah, there was. It wasn't nice at all. So they're in the... Oh, yeah, you might be right. I think they...
Conference.
Apparently they're in the... Are they in the Liverpool counties, or are they in...
Yeah, the Liverpool County Conference, I think. Okay. So Liverpool County Prem, and then there's the Liverpool County Conference, I think. Or First.
All right.
One or the other. But yeah, definitely newcomers to the league. But good outfit by all counts. So we'll be off to South Liverpool, the sort of close to Otterspool, and it's South Liverpool's home venue, isn't it? Where MSB Walton are also playing their home games this season.
Jericho Lane, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Fine. I've never been there before. That'll be another one to kind of tick off the proverbial bucket list.
Yeah, it's a couple of seasons ago since we were last there, I think. But yeah, looking forward to that game. It is a cup game. It'd be nice to continue the win. It's been difficult, really, hasn't it? Because you win 7-3, you want to be playing next week, and we've had a 3-week gap before we play.
I'm afraid so.
Listen, that'll be the same for everybody, by the way.
All of us at this level have had a 3-week break, and we hope for some that's kind of an advantage that because we're naturally fit, so we haven't got as much of a deficit to make up. I'm just hoping that they maybe a couple of...
Because it doesn't look like any real heavy boozers. No. And looking at the weights there, I didn't see anybody that's put a pile of weight on.
No. So Netherley FC are in the Liverpool Counties Conference Division, which is 2 divisions below us.
Is it?
So you've got the Premier Division, the Championship Division, and then the Conference Division.
Oh, fair enough.
They are unbeaten in that league, though, accruing 34 points from a possible 36. So that's 11 wins and a draw.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's going to be tough.
It is going to be tough, yeah. They are winning... they can win some games at a canter. So they won 5-2 against Edge Hill Boys Club. They beat Long Lane FC 2-1. Ormskirk West End Reserves 10-2. Redgate Rovers 2-1, Brexide Park 6-2. So it's a bit of a mixture of results, but they've got a really healthy goal difference as well of plus 32.
So they're going to be extremely confident coming to play us. They've got nothing to lose at all.
No,
it's a learning curve for them.
Yeah, they're a brand new team, and they've got a lot of good players in there, it would seem.
It'd be nice for us to be in the position where we're winning a game and we can make a few changes as well, but I don't think it's going to be that easy.
That would be nice. I'd like that.
Listen, just going back slightly, because I think we mentioned it, but we didn't do any research on it. But Exton Villa's game against Atherton LR got abandoned, didn't it? Do we know what the reason was?
I did ask about this, and I wasn't given anything concrete, purely because it was speculative, and I don't think... I don't think anybody really wanted to talk about it, or at least speculate about it. So I'll try and have a look now and just see if I can find anything at this point.
It was just an interesting point that was mentioned, but we never sort of we never mentioned it again, because it seems like an eternity since we last done a show. Such is the rustiness.
I mean, speak for yourself, mate.
I know. Totally rusty today, but
exactly.
Nothing sort of standing out there.
No.
But no charges have been made.
No charges. Nothing to indicate.
Fortunate for Atherton, really, because I think Exton Villa were winning the game 1-0 at the time.
They were, yeah. I can't remember how far into the game it was that they...
I don't like asking all these questions, but you could speak directly to Davy Jones, couldn't you, and say, listen, what happened?
Well,
but you don't want to appear rude, do you?
I asked his head of media, and he said nothing untoward. Right, so... let's have a look.
It depends who's in the firing line, who's been accused for what.
Yeah.
I got the impression there'd been a little bit of an upset there, and the referee decided to call time.
So an incident occurred shortly after the half-time interval, resulting in the referee making the decision to abandon the fixture. Further details and a replay date will be confirmed in due course. That's all that was said in the kind of official report, and then
Nothing.
Yeah, nothing.
No. So we don't know whether it's been an interaction with the crowd or whether it's been an incident between players, managers, staff. We haven't got a clue, and it's surprising that they keep these kind of things quiet, really. Isn't it?
I know.
We don't want to stir the pot either, do we?
Or open the referee.
We're just nosy. We want to know what's
going on.
We are. So if anybody
Absolutely.
knows what happened in the game
between LR and Exton,
let us know.
Yeah, the thing is, we know both of their managers. We've interviewed both.
That's
of
what I
them.
said. We should really be.
So you talk to Dave Jones. I'll talk to Matt Atherton, and we'll see what we can do.
Yeah, listen. I wanted to go through the
results from the other week.
Well, no. Before we get to the results, I just wanted to go through because it is FA Trophy and FA Cup weekend. So I just wanted to highlight that. Southport are away to Eastleigh. This is the last 32, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah, 16 ties involving the following clubs: Bath City versus Southend, Walton and Hersham versus Brackley Town, Woking versus Macclesfield, Yeovil versus Aldchurch, Eastleigh versus Southport, Marine are at home to Gloucester City, Kidderminster Harriers versus Morecambe. I'm going to have to change
What
these teams.
Are you doing?
Chatham Town versus Carlisle United, Wealdstone and Dagenham and Redbridge.
Wealdstone
versus Dagenham and Redbridge.
Get off the air.
Hornchurch versus AFC Telford, Ebbsfleet versus Forest Green Rovers, Hereford versus AFC Fowl, Tamworth versus Rochdale, FC Halifax versus Anstey Nomads, Leatherhead versus Horsham, and probably the tie of the round is Scunthorpe United versus Clitheroe. For anybody who knows, Clitheroe won on penalties against York at home a few weeks ago. Absolutely fantastic result for
Wonderful
them.
Result.
Not doing particularly well in the league since then.
They've had a bit of a hangover, haven't they?
The sort of FA Trophy hangover. And what you really found bizarre is that the FA Cup third round is getting played on the same.
That's unfortunate, because that robs a couple of these teams of a chance of a televised game. You'd look for something like this. You would really want that to the FA Trophy to kind of be televised here. Give teams a bit more of a boost. But I think both Southport and Marine have got really tough games. It'll be interesting to see if Marine command a gate in excess of 2,000 again for this fixture. I don't think they will. It's a big trek from Gloucester up to Liverpool, so I wouldn't have thought so.
Nice weekend out to Eastleigh, though, isn't it? If you're a Southport fan.
Yeah, Eastleigh's down on the Southampton coast, isn't it?
Yeah,
we talked about this last time.
Hampshire, is it?
Yeah, yes, it is. South Hampshire.
Yeah,
you couldn't get any much further than Southampton. You're right. It's a coast.
That's a long weekend for me.
Sounds great.
Yeah, if that's Scam playing Eastleigh, I'm going to spend a nice long weekend there.
You know what? I'd love that. I would absolutely love to have an away day where we spend a night, or have a bit of time away, and rather than just because the best that I had was Selby Town away. It was a bus journey there and a bus journey back.
Yeah,
absolutely brilliant because we were singing. I'm sure we were singing Kasabian on the way back in, but after having lost. But, it's just one of them absolutely magical non-league games.
I went to watch Scam United Football Club in the FA Vars many, many moons ago, and we were playing just outside Grimsby. I just can't remember the team that we were playing at the time.
Cleethorpes?
We didn't play Cleethorpes, but we stayed in Cleethorpes. James and I stayed in Cleethorpes. We had a long weekend there, celebrating I think it was his 16th birthday at the time, so that shows you how far ago that is.
He's 35 now, isn't he?
Yeah, so it's
20 years ago.
19 years
Near enough, yeah. So
you've got
Cleethorpes, Hornsea, Bridlington, Scarborough.
It was a lower league
Brig.
team. It was a Step 6 team, so Step 5, Step 6 team.
Oh, God.
I just can't remember who it was now. But listen,
anyway,
we had a fabulous weekend there. So you always dream. That's why the FA Cup and the FA Trophy, the FA Vars, when you get to that stage where it's no longer regionalised and you get that chance, an opportunity to go and play somewhere else, and then you can stay for the weekend. It's fabulous, isn't it? And I've always dreamt of winning the Euro Millions and saying, right, we're going to have our pre-season out in Portugal. or Spain, or even America. Go out to the schools in America and play do our pre-season out there. Wouldn't that be lovely?
Sounds great. I wouldn't go to America right now, but...
No, probably not.
I'd say somewhere on the European continent, but I would absolutely do that. Just having like training sessions in the sun. Something like that would be absolutely amazing.
God willing, that on Friday we will win the Euro Millions again.
That's fine.
So listen, Scunthorpe, like I say, versus Clitheroe is the tie.
100%.
I think anything they get out of this game is going to be a bonus for them.
If they're able to get anything at all.
Low score line, draw.
Scunthorpe.
Is it straight to penalties again?
It is, Scunthorpe are not a high scoring team. No. They're not. They tend to be quite tight, but they are a very mean defence. So if Clitheroe thought that York was going to be a bit of a difficult beast, Scunthorpe is going to be the same. But, did any of us expect Clitheroe to do what they did against York? No. Not massively. Certainly. But I've got faith in McConville now to kind of carry on this little fairy tale adventure and to take Clitheroe to where they haven't been for a while. So all the very, very best to Sean and his Blues.
Yeah, and of course Marine and Southport as well. Best of luck to you.
Yeah, them too.
I'm looking at the FA Cup third round draw.
They're just professional teams. Nobody cares about that.
There's 3 non-league teams still involved in the competition there. Of course, Macclesfield Town have got the tie of the round. They're playing Crystal Palace at home.
That's a brilliant. The Holders, wonderful.
Boreham Wood versus Burton Albion is the other one. And Grimsby Town versus Western Supermare is the other non-league team involved in the competition. No guarantee of getting into the 4th round for any of them. But,
no. Boreham Wood, though, top of the conference.
Yeah.
So,
Burton Albion, what are they? Division 1?
They are League 1. League 1, I think.
Grimsby League 2.
Grimsby League 2, but they're doing quite well.
Yeah,
I think.
Everton are playing Sunderland, my team, of course.
And my team are playing Brighton, so...
is that away from home?
It's at Old Trafford. Home, No, it's at home, so...
Tough game for Man United.
Yeah, we're going to bloody lose in the 3rd round of the FA Cup against Brighton again. It's going to be... Danny Welbeck is going to score. I just know it, and it's going to be absolutely bleeding awful.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So, listen, best of luck to all the non-league clubs in the FA Trophy, and of course the non-league clubs that are still remaining in the
FA Cup.
And
as well. And if you're Man United and Everton, just try not to embarrass us.
I know, please. So listen, we look at the fixtures for the week ahead.
Yes, the non-league fixtures, the actual meat of what we're all here for.
And in order to condense it all into one page, I now need a magnifying glass to decipher who is playing who. But listen, we'll start Saturday.
Do you want to check your homework from last week?
Oh, yes, of course. Listen,
check your homework.
I know you're going to have absolutely battered me.
You would think so, but no, it's probably unlikely.
Oh, no, listen, you'd definitely batter me on this one.
Oh, no.
So, I don't know who should say what first.
Oh, Franklin, you keep making noise about
22.
You won.
You're joking?
I got 21.
Oh, crikey, seriously? And I didn't expect that at all, because I thought, when it started off, I only got 1 correct in the Premier Division.
So did
Saturday the 20th.
Yeah.
And that was Longridge against Pilks.
So I got Abbey Hay versus Remy, and that was the only one I got right in there.
Unbelievable. I couldn't believe some of the results were absolutely
stupid.
Absolutely balmy. And there was almost a full fixture list there, wasn't there?
That
there was hardly any games called off.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's victory for Frank.
All right.
Brilliant. So listen, it's nice to win 1 in the odd 20. So, congratulations to me.
All right, mate.
Listen now.
It's no fun when you like this.
Well, I'm going for a brace now. So I'm looking at Saturday, 10th of January in the Premier Division.
Right.
Abbey Hay versus City of Liverpool.
If it goes ahead, it's Abbey Hay.
Yeah, Abbey Hay. Atherton LR versus Padiham. I'm going for Padiham. Just about.
Yeah, I'll join you in that.
Exton Villa versus Cheriton. I'm going for Cheriton. FC St Helens versus West Didsbury in Chiltern. I'm going for a draw.
West Didsbury and Chorlton for me. FC St Helens have fallen off quite a bit in the last few games.
Have they?
They have.
Yeah. Glossop North End versus Barnoldswick Town. Glossop are doing really well. I think they're second in the
form table.
They
certainly are.
Yeah, going for them. Earlham versus South Liverpool.
Earlham.
Longridge versus Cheadle. I'm going for Longridge.
Ooh, right, hang on.
You're looking at the league tables now, aren't you?
Well, I will do, but there's like 67 sheets of paper in here, Frank. I can't find them all. So
what are we looking at there? We're looking at Longridge. So Longridge are 8th in the form table. They've not lost a game in the last 5 outings in the league. Whereas Cheadle Town are in 16th position in the form. I'm talking about the form table.
Oh, fine.
But they're unbeaten in the last 3 as well, so that could be a really close game. But I'm still going for Longridge.
I'll go for Longridge as well, just about.
Prestwich Hayes versus AFC Liverpool. I'm going for Prestwich Hayes.
I will also go for Prescot Cables, I think.
Stockport Town versus Ramsbottom. I think Ramsbottom will do the business there.
Rammy, if it goes ahead.
Yeah. Well, it's away from home, isn't it? So Stockport Town play on a plastic pitch? I don't know.
Yes.
Withenshaw versus Litherland. I'm going for Withenshaw.
Yeah, Withy.
FC Isle of Man versus Bearscough. I'm going for Bearscough.
I'll also go for... If it goes ahead, I'm going for Bearscough.
Yeah, because of the weather. They might not be able to fly.
Yeah, there's a bit of storm brewing.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yes, good luck to them.
Yeah.
FC Isle of Man, though, they're struggling a little bit.
They are once again struggling. Yeah, 20th in the table at the minute, just a few points ahead of Exton Villa. So this is a game they could... I
say struggling. They've lost 1 in the last 4 games, so that's not such a big struggle, is it?
Yeah, no, I get it.
So moving on to Division 1 North, Bacup Borough versus Ashton Athletic. I'm still going to go for Bacup.
Yeah, me too.
Cone versus Holger. I'm going for Holger. Darwin versus Droylsden. You know what? I don't know how to call it. Droylsden just not doing it for me at all.
Draw, I'm going to say.
You're going for a draw.
I am.
I'm going to go marginally for Droylsden. Garstang versus Daisy Hill. I'm going to go for Daisy Hill. McGull versus AFC Blackpool.
McGull.
I'm going to go for AFC Blackpool. Main Road versus Nelson. I'm going for Nelson. MSB Walton versus Thornton Cleveleys. I think Thornton Cleveleys
will be
in between the teeth.
I think so.
First Division South. All Scots Heath versus Eccleshaw. I'm going for Eccleshaw. Barnton versus Alsage. I'm going for Barnton. Camellards versus Market Drayton. I'm going for Market Drayton.
Indeed. I'm going to go for a draw, me.
Cheadle Heath Nomads versus Wolverhampton Sporting Community.
That'll be the Nomads.
Cheadle Heath Nomads. Foley Mere versus Asheville. I'm going for Asheville.
Asheville.
Hormond versus Stockport Georgians. Well, it's an interesting one now, isn't it? Because it's under new management.
Are they?
No, I'm thinking of Shawbury United. Forget that. So Hormond versus Stockport.
Go to bed.
I'm having a bad. Yeah, I'm going to go to bed early tonight if we ever finish the show.
The Georgians.
So you're going for the Georgians as well.
It's only been 2.5 hours.
Yeah. New Hills versus Sandbach United. Sandbach. Runcorn Town versus Shawbury. Runcorn. Wolverhampton Casuals versus Stafford. So First Division North on Monday at the Ginge Power Stadium. Daisy Hill versus AFC Blackpool. I'm going for Daisy Hill.
Go for a draw, actually.
First Division South again on Monday. Cheadle Heath Nomads versus Stafford Town. I'm going for Stafford Town. Tuesday in the Premier Division, AFC Liverpool versus Atherton. I'm going for Atherton LR. Bearscough South Liverpool. Going for Bearscough. Chadderton versus Barnoldswick. Chadderton. Earlham versus Cheadle. Earlham. First Division North on the Tuesday, Holker Old Boys versus McGull. I'm going for McGull. I think they'll outshoot them, goal-wise.
Draw.
Right. Tuesday, the 13th, First Division South, Wolverhampton Casuals versus Shawbury United. I'm going for Shawbury.
I'm also going to go for Shawbury now. I think it really depends on the how many players come over from Telford, quite honestly.
Yeah. I doubt there'll be many, but listen, moving on to the Cheshire Senior Cup second round, Runcorn Town versus Stockport Georgians. I'm going for Runcorn Town. Derbyshire Senior Cup quarterfinals, New Mills versus Glossop. I'm going for Glossop. Lancashire Challenge Trophy quarterfinals, Withenshaw versus Lancaster. I'm going for Lancaster. The Liverpool Senior Cup first round, MSB Walton versus Runcorn Linnets, which will be played at Runcorn Linnets. I'm going for Runcorn Linnets.
I'm also going to go for Runcorn Linnets.
Manchester Premier Cup quarter-finals, Mossley versus Abbey Hay.
Mossley.
I'm going for Mossley, yeah. Wednesday, the 14th Premier Division, Litherland versus Exton Villa. All for Villa. Pilks versus Prescot Cables. All for Pilks. West Didsbury and Chilton versus Charnock. West Didsbury. First Division North, Garstang versus Cone. It's got to be Cone.
Draw.
Lancashire Challenge Trophy quarterfinals, Nelson versus Fullwood Amateurs.
Nelson,
yeah, that's a big time.
Yeah.
And Thursday, Cheshire Senior Cup second round, Cheadletown versus Sandbach United and one for Cheadletown.
Cheadletown too.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
So there's, I've only gone for one draw out of that. And the reason, I've gone down that line of thinking that there's going to be far more draws, but I predicted so many draws over the last couple of weeks, and only one materialised out of all of them. So.
I'm putting 5 draws. Me, who knows? Just don't.
Yeah, and rather than look at the, what we've learned from the past few weeks, I just thought, what are your final thoughts on what's happened over the last few weeks, and particularly when you sort of embrace the show and the talking points today. What you feel? What stands out from the show that we've discussed today? What gets you goat? What makes you feel passionate? What makes you feel worried?
What I feel.
Oh, you're on the hop there.
Yeah, I think what I feel passionate about is the responsibility that people have towards ensuring that their football club stays in business. We talked about the fall of teams like Widnes and Bedlington Terriers, teams in and now kind of City of Liverpool that are right on the edge, so to speak. Prescot Cables already, putting out the appeals.
Well, we know Flixton went out of business in 2013, and they've revived themselves, and they're hoping to join the North West Counties next season.
Rosendale United,
Rosendale are playing again now.
Former Vice, we had on the show very early on in the in its infancy. So there's teams like that whose responsibility that they've had from their custodians has sort of fallen by the wayside in the chase and pursuit of ambition and success. And I think that a certain level of pragmatism is actually needed as the overarching responsibility and nature of how anybody takes on the custodianship of a football club to ensure that it actually stays solvent as a business and as a model of income, first of all.
Well, I think I said it in my article, didn't I? You'd sometimes it's to be applauded the fact that you're actually staying afloat rather than
that's true,
going out of business.
And kind of from that perspective there, it's necessary to kind of see the line being drawn between ambition and stabilisation. And I think in the kind of the times that we are in right now, way more semi-professional football clubs, which means an awful lot more battling for sponsors, players, fans, ground.
It's all about dilution again. You dilute it and there's less.
There's less for everything.
The slice of pie gets thinner and thinner.
Exactly. So that's kind of what I've taken stock of over the last couple of shows, is the necessity to have a responsibility to make sure the football club continues to survive, even if it's not to the taste of everybody.
And what's more interesting in life now is it football and all the politics that surrounds it, or is it Putin and Trump? What's the most interesting storyline?
Oh, I've been keeping way more attention to the Northwest Counties than I have been to what's been going on in Venezuela and Russia and Greenland.
Yeah. So yeah, listen, I look at the likes of Atherton Collieries and who's the other team that they've Runcorn, Linnets, the changing in management and things.
Stafford Rangers as well.
Yeah, but Michael Ellison and Stafford Rangers, which is a different league, isn't it? But yeah, Michael Clegg and Michael Ellison, you wonder how long they'd stay out of football for, because they're so football orientated. To walk away from football, to step away from it, takes a certain amount of.
Yeah, Brad Cooke, I'm assuming he won't be very far out of
Brad Cooke
what he's done at Linnets is outstanding, and I think most people will kind of see that, observe that. And I really don't think he'll be out of the game for very long. We could end up seeing him at Stafford or somewhere a little bit higher maybe. And I think the same with Clegg as well. Particularly after the difficult season that they had, just prior to kind of Halloween and the turn of the seasons, and his loss to LR. He really bounced back from that and got them into a really decent position in the table.
And Clegg, he's a big Man United fan, of course, and he's not liking what's going on
over
there. And he's gone on record as saying, "Give me non-league football any day of the week."
Oh yeah,
it's far more interesting, far more exciting.
It is, and far more welcoming.
Yeah. So listen, I think I look forward to seeing both managers back in gameful employment at some stage, because I think too long out of the game and they might not come back, and we need characters like that.
Yeah, we do. I'm just looking forward to seeing Skem back on the pitch.
Yeah, well, there's that, of course. Like I say, went to training last night. It was great to watch the commitment that some people don't see. In terms of training, the effort that they put in there, particularly the backroom staff as well, the manager, the coaches, the physio and Josh, the strength and conditioning coach, all these people that are heavily involved. Craig, who's always down there to make sure that everybody's got all the right equipment.
Listen.
Decent amount of balls that they don't kick into the trees that we never see again.
I know.
All of those people that are involved in football that love it. And those that are out of it too long, you just hope that they don't stay out too long. And particularly Clegg, you'd love to see him back. Don't know where he's going to go. Don't know how long he'll leave it before he comes back. I think he'll be back at a club before next season.
Yeah, 6 months.
Yeah, 6 months tops. So listen, best of luck to everybody competing in the FA Cup, the FA Trophy, and in the leagues. And particularly to our club, Skem United Football Club.
Well, yeah, but I mean, by best of luck to all teams competing in the FA Cup, we just mean the 3 non-league teams, because if you're professional, we really don't care.
Yeah, unless you're...
It's a non-league show, damn it.
But I do want Everton to win as well. You want Man United to win, don't you?
I mean, I'm slightly ambivalent about United these days, to be quite honest with you.
But listen, on that note, we'll leave the final words to the dulcet tones of AJ.
You've been listening to the Speaking Frankly Football Show with me, AJ the Jet, and my co-host, Mr. Frank Hughes. This podcast is available on most streaming services, wherever you get your podcasts, including Spotify and Amazon Music. Please rate and review, as we do thrive off hearing your feedback. Please also subscribe so that you can find out firsthand when a new episode of the show has been released. We are also on social media platforms, mainly X and Facebook, under the banner term Speaking Frankly Football Show. So by all means, we'd love for you to give us a like and a follow and interact with us on the socials. But until next week, please stay safe. Thank you very much for tuning in. And from Frank and I, bye-bye for now.